Tour. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Trucks.pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Let's get this show on the road. Shout out to Great Polo. Shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to Carlito representing the Kidney. He said he was about to get talked about bad after yesterday. Strain Mella. Hello, I'm glad it was all what's that, goat sheet? Oh yeah, we was just, we was just kicking it. Shout out to We Carry Freight. Shout out to all the MGM members. Don Solo representing the crib. Shout out to Snooty. Says thank you for all you do. Appreciate you. Shout out to SD Walk representing Cleveland. UK Hemi representing Florida. Jonathan representing the Boogie Down. Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to Moving Company Hustle in the building. Y'all go subscribe to his channel. Shout out to Von Gray representing St. Louis. Shout out to Goat Logistics representing the DMV. Shout out to Robert Christensen. Robert Christensen said got 200 for a one-on-one, bro. What? Robert Christensen, you trying to throw money at Mark like I'm a $2 hooker? Got 200 for that's the type of shit you say to a stripper or something. Hey man, I got this 40 for you. I got this 40 piece for you. What you doing out the club? You trying to throw 200 at Big Mark like Big Mark out here selling that thing. Come on, big dog. Come on, man. But on the real though, nah, bro. You gonna have to hit the call in link. You gonna have to hit the call in link. You can't throw no piper at Mark. Mark ain't finna move off no piper. You hear what I'm saying? You gotta go to the strip club with that big dog. You gotta hit the link or something if you wanna holler at me. Hit the linkage or come in the Discord. Catch me in the Discord. Shout out to Great Polo. Roger Lacey representing Cincinnati in the building. What's going on? Andrew Green, what's going on? Craig Freeman, what's up? Jink representing Louisville. I say Louisville. I hear some people say Louisville. I say Louisville. Who else we got? Transportation Boys representing the crib. Happy to Deliver representing Falls Church, Virginia. Shout out Mr. Jones in the building. Hey, Mr. Jones, who is that in your on your default pick? That ain't you, Mr. Jones. That ain't you who was up here the other day. That's your son or something. That's a younger you, Mr. Jones. That ain't you in your little profile picture, is it? Shout out to Hustling with Suave, Jersey representing, Spoken representing Michigan. Shout out to Mr. Kirk. Shout out to Rio. What's going on? You see I'm saying it wrong. So what is it? Louisville? I can't say that. Louisville. I'm just gonna say Louisville. 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 All right, man. I'm gonna practice it. Cause I be hearing people say Louisville, but my accent gonna say Louisville. Louisville, like a Louisville slugger. All right, we're gonna practice Louisville. Shout out to Elias representing Frisco. Shout out to Chicago's very own representing the crib. Tony says that's the younger. Actually ran 2 drops for dispatch this morning. Hey, Mr. Jones, man, I might have to talk to you before I get off this stream. Mr. Jones, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, I'm gonna have to have and I still gotta email you back, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, I might have to pull you up and have a conversation. Mr. Jones, you need to find you something to do. You gotta find you something to do. You a part of the In the House gang now. Embrace it. Man, matter of fact, shout out to Cars and Cribs. I saw Cars and Cribs video yesterday. Matter of fact, let's give a round of applause for Cars and Cribs. Cars and cribs is now a part. Well, it may be temporary, but I think it's going to be long lived. I think Cars and crib part of in the house gang now. The in the house gang, man. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of the in the house gang. All right, when you in the house gang, that's that validity. So shout out to Cars and Cribs for being a new member of the in the house gang. They try to make fun of the in the house gang, but how can you make fun of the in the house gang when the in the house gang is in the house? That's a good thing. So shout out to Cars and Cribs for being a new member of the in the house gang. It's a movement. We need more people to be a part of the in the house gang. The in the house gang. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Mr. Jones, you got to embrace that you're a part of the in the house gang. You earned it. All right? You earned it, Mr. Jones. I might drop the link for you later on, Mr. Jones. All right? Shout out to Byron Gibson, representing the MGMs. Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to the moderators in the building. All right, boom. Hit that link. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. Today we want to talk about all right, man, we need to just go ahead and get this out the way, man, because I don't know. It's a lot of people. I don't know what's in the water right now. What's in the water that's causing all these people to make these irrational decisions? What's going on? I thought December was a time of like family and reflection and just happy times. And it seems like everybody is angry and upset and dull, and it's causing them to make, rash decisions. There's a lot of despair, like people making desperate decisions. I thought this is the time of the year where everybody's supposed to be happy. Because it's jolly and cheer. And it's peak season, right? This is the time of the year where everybody's supposed to, be financially, financially secure. The bag is supposed to be running up. But I don't know. Nonetheless, I like to, pay attention to, the trend of, topics. What are topics that come up? Or what should I say? The when people call up on a call-in show, it seems like it's a pattern of different trends, and lately it's been people wanting to start a business, but the dynamic is the same. It's a bunch of kids, small children, under the age of 5, under the age of 6, with newborns. Wife doesn't work. It's like the same carbon cut copy, and no plans, not enough resources, and people not really weighing their options. So I want to dedicate this live stream on to, what you need to look at before you leap into business, depending on your situation, and how to protect yourself. Because this is something that I see people don't think about. People don't weigh these options, but we're going to talk about it today, and hopefully someone finds some value. Clearly, there's a bunch of people, that are on the cusp of starting a business based off of desperation, who hasn't thought things fully through yet. So what I want to do is give you the things to consider before making that, that decision. Listen, life is about choices and decisions. I just want to open your mind to the things you need to think about. You're going to make the decision you want to make. I'm not going to coerce you to make a decision one way or another. Some people will tell you YOLO, but it's like I always tell you, look at your situation and make a well-informed decision based on your circumstances. Prioritize, because, people will tell you one thing, and if they lead you down or lead you up a river or lead you down a path of destruction, I 100% guarantee you that in a time of need, those people that, coerce you into doing what wasn't in your best interest are not going to help you out of your situation. I promise you that. I 100% promise you that. So, starting a business is something that can be exciting, but it's also something that can be stressful to most people. And what people have to realize is you're putting your livelihood on the line. All right. If you are a person who has a family, like we've been seeing a lot of people, you have more to risk, um, especially if you plan on quitting your job. So today I want to talk about what livelihood risks really mean, um, when it's okay to take the risk, and the practical systems and safety nets that you should have in place if you are going to go out and take this leap, make this sacrifice. So first, understanding your livelihood risk. All right. Livelihood refers to jeopardizing your stability. All right. The stability of whatever it is you got coming in, or whatever it is you do to meet your basic needs, your housing, your food, your transportation, your health care, so on and so forth. If you have family, kids, even riskier. Um, when you start a business, you face uncertain income, especially at the beginning. Especially at the beginning, and this is something that I've spoke on recently. You Even when you're tenured in business, it's still uncertain, right? It's still uncertain. You could be in business 8, 9, 10 years, have consistent. Look at it like this. For 2 weeks, we were down when the country shut down. For 2 weeks, we were down. Everything was shut down until they deemed certain industries essential or not. Everything stopped. The world stopped this country stopped for 2 weeks. This country stopped for 2 weeks until certain industries were deemed essential or non-essential. Essential people could go back to work. Non-essential businesses closed. Let's focus on those non-essential businesses. Your let's say your barbershops, your beauty salons, let's say car washes, your restaurants, so on and so forth. Look how many non-essential businesses were jeopardized when the pandemic first hit. This is an unforeseen situation. This is something that no one saw coming. But look how many businesses succumbed or failed or went out of business due to that unforeseen situation. It's uncertain. It is what it is. There's nothing for certain in life. So there's a lot of people who had thriving businesses. Costas, who's a subscriber to the channel, multi-million-dollar restaurant here in Chicago, his business failed due to the pandemic, and he's driving a cargo van now. He's come up and he's told his story. Multi-million-dollar restaurant in one of the richest areas in Chicago, Lincoln Park, since 05, had been open since 05. 2020 came, that was it. All those years, just like that, one situation. So uncertainty, right? Loss of benefits when you leave your job and you take the risk. If you have a job and you have benefits, once you leave that job, you walk away from those benefits. Now you're responsible for paying for benefits on your own. Benefits are expensive. It's a luxury to have a company, pay into your benefits package. It's a luxury. You don't really understand how much benefits really cost when you're paying 100% of it until you have to pay 100% of it. I pay 100% of my benefits. And guess what? Keeps going up. Since the pandemic, it seems like I've been getting 2 letters a year about an increase. I just got a letter last month for an increase, a new increase that started the 1st of this month. I've had the same insurance policy since 2011, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And I'm responsible for it, right? It's not something that I can live without because I need to get my teeth cleaned. I need to go to the doctor and get checkups, things of that nature. It's not something that, you can go without. All right. And if you have children, that's another responsibility. That's more people that you're adding on to the policy, especially if you have a partner who doesn't work, that's a homemaker, and they're fully dependent on that one income that you were bringing in from your job. So now this business serves as that one income. That's something that you need to think about as well. And once again, for the people that are coming in late, this is not to deter anybody. This is just to give you, the people who are on the cusp of making that decision based off this situation, the things to think about, pros and cons, things to weigh before you make a rash decision. So benefits is something that you have to, understand that you're going to be responsible for, not just health benefits, but also the benefits that, bereavement, burial benefits, PTO, um, MTO, paternal leave, maternal leave, bereavement. Like, all this goes out the window. God forbid someone passes in your family, you're on a job, they may give you 5 days for bereavement. If your wife gets pregnant and you're the sole provider and she's a homemaker, they may give you, I don't know whether they give 6 months or something for maternity leave or paternity leave, whatever it is. You lose all that. So, you get your wife pregnant and you on the new and you still trying to figure your way through. Listen, she get pregnant, those days where you got to rush her, a water broke, you got to go sit at the hospital. Those are days where there's no system in place that is going to pay you for this situation that you're having in your personal life. Those are days where you're just not going to be able to run because you need to be there in that critical moment to support, your wife or your partner or your spouse and your family. This is things that you have to understand. If you're running something dedicated and you got to leave because your wife is having a baby, how long are you going to be gone for? Do you think they're going to hold that dedicated route for you? Of course not. Some people are going to go to the hospital, hold their wife's hand while the baby gets pushed out. And there's going to be some people, after that baby get pushed out, they're going to chuck that deuce. They're going to chuck all right, baby, you good? All right. Oh, okay. Oh, you got my eyes. All right, baby, I got to go. I'm going to holler at you tomorrow. Chuck that deuce. And they're going to have to go back to that truck or that cargo van because they know that's the only source of income. These are the risks, especially if you own a new and you don't have a nest egg built up. And it happened. Some people may not be as, I don't want to say as put the business first, I should say, right? And they may, take that time off, that week off. So if you're doing something dedicated, then obviously you're sacrificing that dedicated. If you're running over the road, then obviously no income is coming in, but income is going out because you still have to cover the cost of your living expenses. So that's why when these guys have been coming up recently with all these little bitty kids that want to take these risks, and I know some of them are probably watching, and I just want you to understand something. These are things that you need to think about as well. The decisions that you make in your life when you start a business ultimately affect your business, and the decisions that you make in business ultimately affect your livelihood as well, positively and negatively, vice versa, in both situations, both ways. So having children is another expense. It's another personal expense that you're bringing upon yourself. These are things that I don't, when I talk to people, I try not to get too wrapped up in the personal, trying to understand their logic on, well, if you know this is what you wanted to do, why did you do this? Or why haven't you done that? I'm telling you from a guy who has no children, who has made the ultimate sacrifices, who aggressively reinvested back into the business, who faced challenges. And sometimes I like, damn, if I had a family to support, one, I wouldn't have been able to aggressively, reinvest, right? Which is making a sacrifice. But let's say if I got to a certain point, which I was at certain points throughout my career, and there were certain things that happened, like, damn, if I had a family, what decision would I make in a situation like this? These are just things that I just want you to think about. If you sink your savings, right, or borrow money, failure can result in massive debt. There was a guy in here, I don't know if he was trolling the other day or what, but he was telling people the African guy to go borrow the money, get a personal loan for 40 or 50K if he had good credit. But here's the thing. Well, what if that business still sinks? Here's what I want people to understand. You can't, in business, you have to think about the what ifs. It's just like we talk about breakdowns. It's not a matter on, if it's going to happen or when it's going to if it's going to happen, it's when. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Your truck is going to break down. It's no ifs, ands, or maybes. Cargo van, it's going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to happen when you're probably in your most vulnerable state. You'll be in a very vulnerable situation. You'll probably be traveling over the road, and you're going to be passing through a small sundown town. It's not going to happen when you're on 294 coming through Chicago, or when you're on, I-95 going through New York, or I-10 going through, I-20 going through, Georgia, some shit like that, going through Atlanta or whatever, or I-95 coming through Miami. It's going to happen when you're going through one of them small little towns and you're in the middle of nowhere and resources are very minimal, and it's going to cost you the most money because of the vulnerable state that you're in. That's when things happen. So if you start a business and you have no capital, you borrow money on your personal, right? And then the business fails. Now your personal debt is, you're in deep personal debt. You have no cash. Now you have no credit. Yeah, you can go back to your job, but now you're in deep debt. And then how long is it going to take you to find a new job or something equivalent to what you left? To now, get you back on some form of a level playing field. This is why I tell people to start with cash. This is why I tell people to start with cash. Some people, that whole OPM, other people's money, yeah, I think that's good for rich white folks. That's just my opinion. You can like it or not like it. I think that works for like old rich white people. I don't think that, for people who come from humble beginnings, I just don't think it's a good idea. I just think it's better to just grind it up out the mud. I just think that here, if I work really hard, I save up enough money, I, measure my risk tolerance. Here's the money that, based on my research, that I need to start to be comfortable to start with. I still have my credit. I still got my credit. I'm going to utilize this cash. And if it doesn't work, okay, boom, this is the cash that I put aside and I allotted for this venture. If it doesn't work, okay, now I have my credit to support me while I search for opportunity. I'm not out here bad. I'm not out here bad. And, some people are willing to just set themselves up for failure, not just failure in the business from them investing into something that they don't understand, but they're willing to take risk, from their personal livelihood, things that are there to help secure them in their personal life, and invest that as well on something that they haven't even fully taken the time to understand. That's crazy to me. I'm not going to tell nobody to do nothing that I wouldn't do. I'm just not. Me personally, borrowing money to take a risk is scary to me. This is why I've never done it. Even when I built those apps in 2019, I paid for that. I'd rather lose my money that I, put aside for a project. And if I lose it, I can live with that. But to borrow something, it doesn't work, lose their money, I'm still on the hook for paying them back. Even if the business fails, I'm still on the hook for paying them back. That's not something that me personally, I don't think I that would bother me. Me personally, everybody, like, I may be more of a risk taker than others, but I have limits too. You see what I'm saying? Me personally, I refuse to take money on a risk. That's where my risk tolerance, that's my limit. That's my limit. So I'm not gonna risk me personally, I'm not gonna risk my personal livelihood for a business venture. I'm just not. I understand the importance of a roof over my head. I understand the importance of, food, clothing, and shelter, and like homeless is not something that I've experienced. Couch surfing is not something that I've had to experience. Nor do I want to experience it. I don't even want to experience the what am I going to do now? I'll worry about that later, or I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. That's okay in some situations, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, or I'll worry about that later. It's not something that you want to say or think about when it comes to your well-being and your livelihood. So when people come up here with no plan, with very little money, with all these kids and spouses that don't work, which, if we had someone that came up with a spouse that worked, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, then the conversation would go different. Why? Because there's a layer of security there. You got a second income coming in. But what we've seen week after week after week is the same scenario of one income coming in, 3 little bitty babies, and a spouse that doesn't work. There's no level of security whatsoever. Stress. The stress is what's leading most people into making this irrational decision in the first place. Financial stress. I say it all the time. The internet can be a dangerous place for a lot of people. A lot of people think they get enjoyment out of swiping, hitting the like thing on Instagram, double tapping on TikTok. They think they getting an entertainment out of it, but what it's doing is it's destroying them on the inside, because they're seeing things. Some of it may be real, some of it may be, staged, but they're looking at different people's lifestyles and then they're yearning for that, right? They're looking at different shit that they see that's displayed on the internet, and then they're taking a step back and then they're looking at their situation. A lot of the shit that you see on the internet, some of it's real, but then some of it is fictitious. And that's mostly in the lifestyle branding sector in social media. When you look at lifestyle brand ambassadors, not all of those guys are who they say they are. That's probably one of the most capped sectors when it comes to social media. Because there's no, how can we determine if that person is really running it up and that lifestyle that they're portraying, it came from them running it up? Because there's no education. Like they're selling you an idea on leaving your job, but they're not telling you how you can effectively leave your job and, live this lifestyle that I'm showing you. They're just giving you motivation and telling you the world is your oyster. Now go play in it. You don't have to conform to the rat race and the 9 to 5. What that whole lifestyle genre to me is today is a new version of a Ponzi scheme like we used to see in the 90s. There was a lot of Ponzi schemes. Like back in the 90s, early 2000s, that was the era of Ponzi's. Selling you an idea on something that really isn't there. you're selling a person to come in, and then you're making revenue off them coming in, and then you sell them on the idea to sell other people on the idea to bring them in, and the whole pyramid is the people who are at the top are eating off all the people, and then there's nothing tangible to make any money off. It's just selling people an idea on something that's really not there. There's no plan to get to it. It's just, we're just selling you the idea and making money off selling the idea. It's the new age Ponzi. And a lot of people fall for it. One, because they're not old enough to even understand or see the old versions of Ponzi's, or just don't even know what a Ponzi is. So without you even knowing it, you scrolling, you flipping, you're causing damage to yourself, emotional and stressful damage. And this is what's weighing on you to lead you into even the thought process of making an uninformed and illogical decision on leaving stability to invest into something that's uncertain without a plan and without the proper resources. Well, man, I'm at the glass ceiling. Okay, well, find something else that can provide more money. At the end of the day, maybe, transitioning from a job to entrepreneurship, still, if the resources aren't available, the resources aren't available. And based off your situation, you may not be able to take that leap. The transition for you at this time may be transitioning from one job to another job that pays more, maybe transitioning from a job to a career that pays more. The transition doesn't always have to be from job to entrepreneurship. You have to prioritize things, and you have to look at your current situation and accept what your current situation is. I think a lot of people have an issue with self-accountability. You have to, one, first accept what your current situation is. That's why we keep getting these guys that are coming up here. It's a reason why we keep getting these carbon cut copy of 3 guys with 3 little bitty kids under 5 with minimal resources and wife that don't work, because they saw me say the shit to the person before. They really know what the answer is. They just need somebody to tell it to them. It all starts with self-accountability. Listen, look at your current situation. You know deep down in your heart, this may not be the time for you. Your current situation, you have to accept it because you put yourself in it. The truth is the truth. You can't allow the stress that's going on to cause you to make an illogical decision. Because guess what? I'm going to tell you what. If you're stressed out now, if you're depressed now because you feel like you're running a rat race, you're going from check to check, that stress level that you have, and I guarantee you I brought up a plethora of people that have made those decisions and have told you how much more stressful it got. You had a guy up here the other day, literally damn near about to cry. His whole house was packed up in his living room. No Christmas tree. You see the 3 kids, it's Christmas. His whole living room is packed up where the Christmas tree should be put up at. You could see the anguish in him. You could see the desperation. He admitted to it. Without him even admitting to it, it was written all over his face. It was written in his voice. He couldn't even sit still. So if you think you're in a situation now where you're stressed out, make the leap with minimal resources. And that stress is going to be amplified to the 1,000,000th power. Because the stress that you have now is a stress with stability. You have a roof over your head, you have clothes, your children are fed, and Monday through Friday, let's say for the guy with FedEx ain't going nowhere. As long as you don't mess your job up, you're fine. The stress level of the uncertainty is irrelevant. It doesn't exist in that situation. The stress level that a person in that situation is dealing with is because they want more revenue, because they're increasing their cost of living, one, by, increasing their family, and two, just the cost of living is going up. You take that leap with the uncertainty, I'm telling you, the stress level is going to go to the 1,000th power, because you don't know what the next day holds. You don't know what the day after that holds. You don't know what the next week holds. So, that mental strain that's in your household now, I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. It's people make it seem like risking your livelihood, and they won't use these words, because if they use the word livelihood, it'll cause people to think and slow down and take a step back, and then that'll prevent them from investing into whatever it is that is being. So it's not something that it's promoted to be like the noble thing to do, but really it's dangerous. Why? Because it's a risk, and risk can be dangerous. There's nothing noble about a risk, unless you're like jumping in the water to save a drowning kid or some drowning person or some type of life threat that's on the line. That's a risk that you're taking. You're risking your life to save the life of someone else's. But when we're talking about, the livelihood of the well-being of your family based on, stability, from financial, your financial situation, how you have income coming in, that's a different thing. You hear these phrases like bet on yourself and YOLO and, what's the one, uh be your own boss. It all leads to reckless decisions, as we see. And it not only hurts you, it hurts your loved ones. And I don't want anybody else to make these decisions. That's why I'm just doing this live stream, that we can just focus on that. I can just direct people to watch this, because I don't think the last 3 or 4 guys that have come up in the past couple of weeks that have similar situations, I don't think that's going to be the last of us hearing of situations like that. There's going to be more. And what is, crazy to me, how all these guys, it's like, even when you break it down to them and you say, well, man, the kids are the priority, it's like still everybody's mind is made up. So, all right. So when is it okay to take the risk? One, when you make sure that your basics are covered. All right. So business, 3 to 6 months, I say, but livelihood, 6 to 12 months. 6 to 12 months of living expenses. This is the cushion that's going to protect your cost of living while you conquer the learning curve in your business. Those bills ain't going to stop coming. So when I hear people talk about 10 grand, and I think Daniel had 2 grand and making a cross country move, 2 grand making a cross country move to do gig work. Make sure your basics are covered. 6 to 12 months of, living expenses saved. This is going to be the cushion that's going to protect you. Proven business model. All right. Proven business model. We know a lot of people aren't doing what's in their best interest as far as, creating a business plan and even, going out there and testing what they're looking to get into. Have a proven business model. Test the waters first. test the waters. Don't jump into the water on the deep end head first without no life preserver. You can't swim. You can't swim. So why do it? Why set yourself up to drown? Go walk down to the shallow end, stick your toes in the water. Walk in the water, touch the flow, stand up. Keep walking towards the deep end. That water going to keep rising, and then you'll know where your risk tolerance is. Once that water gets to right here, you know you need to stop. That's you testing the waters. Go on down to the shallow end and keep walking as that water rises. The more confident you get, the more better off you're going to be. But if you jump into that deep end and you don't know how to kick, you don't know how to float, you don't know how to move your arms, you're going to drown. You ain't tested the waters. Make sure your personal debt is under control. Another reason that a lot of people try to come into this industry is because their personal debt is just crazy. So they think this is the way for them to get back on top. They think this is the way for them to get back on top. If you got significant debts, credit card debts, you got some evictions, and you dealing with some type of financial stress, it's probably best that you take care of your personal situation first. It's probably best that you take care of your personal situation first. Another thing is make sure that your household is all in unison with the idea. Everyone is on the same page. Obviously, if you got small kids, their input is, irrelevant, but, your spouse or your partner or your wife. If you guys remember when Daniel came up, he said that his wife was not on board with it, but this is something that he was going to do anyway. When your partner is not on board, you're increasing that stress level that already exists. And it's just like I told him and I told some of these other guys, when you make those decisions, that's a selfish decision to make. Because now if things go awry, things don't go correctly, the business doesn't work out, these people who are in your family are going to ultimately suffer from your business risk. And the bad thing about it is the children, they have no say so. They don't even understand the risk that's being taken. All they know is, man, Mom, I'm hungry. Mommy, my tummy hurts. I'm sick. They're fully dependent. And if you are selfish to the point where you don't consider their well-being before you go make just an illogical, ill-advised, rash decision, you're selfish and you're completely putting them at risk, and they're going to suffer behind these bad decisions that you made. Listen, there's no way on God's green earth. If I was in some of the situation that these guys that come up are in, I would even be considering some of the stuff to tip up. And I know we live in a different culture where, people don't prioritize and they don't think, but then this is why the failure rate is increasing. And this is why you see a lot of people complaining. This is why it's Christmas time and there's a lot of people upset and they're not joyous because people don't want to prioritize. You got people that are coming up, they're willing to make an irrational decision while they have a roof over their head. They have stability. People have lost their way on what, the things that matter most. And I'm telling you, I completely blame social media. Social media is not for everybody. It's not. Some people are being contaminated with social media and don't even know they're being contaminated. It's not for everybody. Because I guarantee you, if it didn't exist, a lot of people that is willing to take these risks with no resources, a bunch of kids, no money, but man, Skip, I'm just going to leave a job and I'm just going to do it, man. I just have to worry about that later. The influence is coming from social media. If social media didn't exist, I'm telling you, this wouldn't even be a thought. if you had this conversation, hey, why don't you, I know you only got 10 grand and you got a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 5-month-old, and you work for UPS and you make $1,500 a week, but forget UPS, forget that $1,500 a week, man. YOLO, you only live once, go start your new business. I guarantee you 10, 15 years ago, they would have told you, man, get the hell out of my face with that dumbass shit. You think I'm finna risk the livelihood of my family? I don't even have enough capital. I only got 10,000 saved up to my name. Man, this job provide. This is the conversation that would have happened back then in these current circumstances that we're talking about. Man, I only got 10,000 to my name. Man, this job is providing me benefits. Man, I got kids, man. They got to get their teeth clean. They got to get checkups. I'm getting benefits. I got great benefits here. I got a great retirement package. I can't take that risk. I'm not going to risk my family and the well-being of my family for something that's uncertain, and I don't have the capital to fully support my family and that business simultaneously. And if something goes bad or it doesn't work out, I'm screwed. This is the answer that you would have got 15 years ago. It wouldn't have even been a thought. You would have got cussed out. Hit the like button. So I'm showing you how people are influenced in many different ways. Not just box trucking, just come on in with a box truck, make $1 million. No, man, people influence you to leave your job. Just listen to some of the stories that come up here. It's like, I'm not making these scenarios up. These people come up here and say this shit. It's you gambling. When you do that, it's all or nothing. That's an all or nothing scenario. When you come up here and you have nothing, no security, not enough resources, not 10 grand, 2 grand, the other guy had 5 grand. That's not enough money to start a business and support a livelihood. It's not. It's a gamble. A bad gamble at that. It's a bad gamble. No safety net. Why would you take that risk? No one is going to save you, man. Why does van life exist? Outside the fact that you got some people that popularized it, and then you got more followers that want to go do this dumb shit, right? But the reason I think it exists ultimately is because the shelters are overcrowded. You can't even get in a shelter nowadays. Why? For reasons like what I'm talking about. Not everybody just were born into unfortunate circumstances. Some people put themselves in these situations. The shelters are overcrowded. You got tent cities popping up all across the country. We weren't known to have tent cities. We got tent cities, and this is prior to the migrants. Tents were popping up in the parks and alongside of the expressway. Why? Because the homeless population is growing. Why? Because it's harder to survive. The cost of living is constantly rising, and the wages aren't rising at the same pace as the rate of inflation. It's not. That wage gap to the cost of living gap is getting wider and wider. So when a person comes up here with me understanding this and me not, going to send you off a cliff, because I understand what's going on. I pay attention to these things. And if you're going to take a risk, you should know this too. What you're doing is you're gambling. when you tell me all or nothing with $10,000 or $5,000, hit the like button. You got 100 people in, 48 likes, or $2,000 like the one guy, you're gambling at the expense of your kids. You don't take a risk on everything you have. You know what that if that's your current situation, then you're not ready. If you're in a situation where you got $10,000 and you have a livelihood, family to support, all you got is 10 grand. And that's all you have to start this business. You're not ready, because it's going to take all that to start the business. You know when you're ready is when you have enough money to start the business, you have enough money to sustain the business for up to 6 months, and you have enough money to sustain your cost of living for your family up to a year. When you have that type of money and you have the money to sustain to start the business, that's a person who's financially ready. That's a person who has their ducks in a row. That's a person whose T's are crossed and their I's are dotted. A person with minimal money, it's just not it. So financial safeguards, emergency fund, like I mentioned, 6 to 12 months. Obviously, you want to have, once you structure your business, you want to get your business account, right? You want to separate the money. All right. We already know people like to commingle funds. They were going to rob from the sustainability of business, but we understand why people rob from the sustainability of their business, because they don't do what's in their best interest initially, which is understand what they investing in. Because if they understood what they investing in, they wouldn't be investing, because they would understand that they don't have enough resources in the form of capital. Lower your living expenses. And, from some of the people that have come up, their expenses are still extremely low. These people are already living modestly. One guy is living at his mom's. One guy is, living, I forgot. And here's the thing. Still don't have enough to take the risk. And I'm going to get to how you should do it in a minute, and you're not going to like it because it's too slow. It's too slow. And I see somebody's question, and I'm going to get to that question in a minute too. Let's get to it now. Start small. It's two different type of people, right? You got one person who is like the people who come up. They already got a family dynamic in place, kids, wife that doesn't work, bills. They got one income coming in, which is their income. And then you got another person who is, doesn't have those responsibilities, who can invest more aggressively. And then you got a third person who is willing to start from very, very humble beginnings and work their way through the trenches and up. A person who is starting like a lot of the guys that we see recently, these are the guys that, should really keep their job and try to enter into this industry part-time, whether it be through some of the gig apps, whether it be getting a part-time job, on the weekends or after work for maybe a local logistics company delivering. Even if you go deliver, if Amazon DSP will let you on and just deliver for the weekend, do that. It'll give you some type of insight on what you're, going to be, God willing, investing into. Start with your car. Use what you have and utilize that money to ultimately give you a bigger cushion that one day, depending on how long it takes, that you have that safety net, the correct safety net. Start small. Start with what you have. If you got $10,000 and 3 kids and a wife that don't work, that's not $10,000 ain't enough. The other guy, 5,000 ain't enough. 15,000 ain't enough if that is your reality. Well, Mark, they said I could start with 5. Okay, you got 10, and they find you a way to start with 5. So now your whole life, your 3 kids, your wife, your household living expenses, and the sustainability of the business is limited to $5,000. One single incident, it's over with. The business is over with, and you calling granny, you calling auntie, uncle, everybody trying to get you. You had to go to the internet. Now you got to get a GoFundMe. Hey, y'all, I hate to do this. You're going to write the long drawn out GoFundMe. I hate to do this, but I started my box truck business, and it didn't go as planned, and I didn't have enough money. Now that I realize I have enough money, and it's we live in Michigan, and it got down to 0 degrees last night with a -30 wind chill factor, and our furnace went out. Yeah, our furnace done went out, and it's cold, and we ain't got no money for a hotel. And I called Four Seasons. They can get a guy out here to fix it, or they can get a guy out here to replace it, emergency, 24 hours around the clock. But we ain't got no money. The kids is cold. Anything that anybody can do, it'll be greatly appreciated. Then you take a picture and you put the picture up of your family in there shivering. $10,000 ain't even really enough in savings to support a family like that in case of emergency. But you're gonna sacrifice it to start a business? Like, these are the conversations, these are the types of live streams that I have to have, helping people put their priorities into perspective based on the type of things that people say to me when they call up on a call-in show. I'm not going to risk my livelihood to take no risk. Deal with reality. Accept your reality. If you are a person that's easy influenced, stay off the internet. Face the reality that you are in. That's the first thing to ultimately becoming, I think, is successful at just owning up to your own reality. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to escape it. Or that, the desperation leads them to do things that are just going to put them further behind the 8 ball. Because they fail to take a step back and just, all right, this is what it is. This is my situation. How do I get out of it? I may not be able to get out of it as quickly as this guy, because this guy, his reality and my reality aren't the same. The reason why this guy that I'm looking at on Instagram or TikTok that's running it up, and he's going into Dior, and he's with all the pretty little Latina chicks, and he's riding around in Lamborghinis, and he's doing this and that. His reality and my reality ain't the same. This guy is, younger, no responsibilities. I'm a person with 5 kids and a wife that doesn't work. Even though I want what he has, because this is what it all leads down to, I have to face the fact that to acquire that, it may take me longer because I have a lot of responsibilities that cost money, and I can't take the risk that this person took to get to where he got to as quickly as he got there. the big news is Kai Cenat yesterday. Everywhere you went, Kai Cenat, I guess his numbers came out. He made what, 15 million this year. So just in 2019, he was worth 9,000, and now he's worth 14 million. Look at all the time and the work and the effort that Kai Cenat put in. Let's look at that situation, for instance. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. The work that he does, and some may look at it as not work, but in today's time, sitting at your computer and doing whatever he does is considered work. Streaming, it's a form of entertainment. Advertisers pay. If people watch, people engage. The younger generation, they're not watching soap operas. They're not watching, we used to come in and wait for MacGyver on Monday nights on ABC, Magnum PI, 21 Jump Street. Back in the 90s on Thursday nights, we'd turn on Fox, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. You already know what came on Thursday in 96, 97. Somebody put in the chat, what was we waiting on Thursday night in 96? 95. What was we waiting on in 95, 96, 97? Thursday night on Fox. Thursday night on Fox. What was we waiting for in the mid-90s on Thursday night, prime time on Fox? Martin, Byron got it. Listen, whatever we was doing on Thursday night, it stopped. It stopped. Martin about to come on. Man, they ain't watching no sitcoms today. They on the tube. They on the tube. They on goddamn it, TikTok, Instagram, Snappy Chat. So let's look at the work he put in, the time that he's invested. That kid has invested a lot of time in these short amount of years to go from nothing to $14 million. He lived at home with his mom. He dropped out of college, right? He lived at home with his mom, so there's the security, right? He could stream all day long because he had a roof over his head and no bills to pay because he had that support system. He could stream, reinvest time back into that craft, aggressively because he had no responsibilities that he had to meet that would ultimately pull him away from investing that much time into what it is that he really wanted to do to get him to the point where he is today. Now imagine someone that started at the same time as him with a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 3-month-old, and a wife that don't work. Would they be able to invest the time that Kai Cenat did? Absolutely not. Why? Because they would have to go out and source finances to support the family. This is a person who's living on his own, has started a family once and twice and 3 times over again, even as recent. Wife don't work. So this is the individual that got to go out. Now, although he may have the idea, right? And this streaming is going to be the next big thing. I need to start streaming, I got to, I'm telling you, in 3-4 years, these guys are going to be offering $100, $200, $300 million deals. But this guy ain't going to have he doesn't have the resources, the time is a resource as well to invest like Kai did. So if he does make that sacrifice, something is going to be neglected. It's going to be his family. And they're going to suffer behind it. The logical person is going to go out, work, bring in revenue, and then stream when they get the time. But guess what? When they get the time, may not be as aggressive as Kai is doing it, which is why Kai is getting the results a lot sooner. But this is a person who understands the reality that they're living in. Not to say that they're not going to get to a successful point similar to Kai, maybe surpass him, but their success is going to come more delayed based on their current situation. And this is where I understand people don't look at these different scenarios and understand why this person is winning a lot faster. You see a person and you think you can do what that person can do at the time frame that that person did it, but you're not looking at that person's circumstances. Start small, man. Look at your circumstances and build your business based off your circumstances. If you have circumstances like some of the cases that we had, it's 100% going to take you longer. But don't risk the little that you have on a gamble. Have a backup plan, man. Have a backup plan. You know, I'm not going to go long drawn out on the whole invest in knowledge. Obviously, you've heard me say it a million times over. Understand what you're investing in. Do what you need to do to gather the knowledge. Self accountability. I covered that, and just have a real talk with yourself, and just don't be misled based on what you hear, what you see, and your current situation. Prioritize, put your priorities into perspective, and make a well-informed decision, not only just for you, because I think that's what people are doing, but for your family as well. There was this question. Which of your videos step by step? I think I got one video that's a step by step. I don't really do, I got one video, maybe two. And it's not even a video, it's a live stream. So it's long form. I think I did it maybe a year and a half ago. It's long form. It's wait, is it in the members only? I think I got one and maybe in the members only, but I do know I did like one maybe a year and a half ago. It's long form. It's a live stream, PowerPoint presentation, and it's long. I'm not going to redo a shorter version of it. I'm not going to even do another version of it because, I don't, now that I've, settled into my niche in this space, like entry level box truck content is not my what I do. I don't do entry level. You got like Big Vic, he does a lot of entry level stuff. I don't do entry level. I try to do, I do more intermediate, advanced, more business, so content, more, content to get you to think, like the how to start a box truck business, the 5 simple steps to starting your box truck business, how to create your, like, I don't do that. That's not my space. But I do got a long form lecture that I did maybe a year and a half ago. It's somewhere. I don't know. It might be in the members only or something. So, let me see. Cato says, do you answer questions here? On these streams, I have minimal questions. I like to open up the call-in show for the Q&A. Mine is more intermediate, more advanced. I don't really touch on basic topics. I touch on more intermediate and more advanced topics. The basic stuff, I don't do it. And it's a reason why I don't do it, because here's the thing, and I'm going to keep it a buck with you. A lot of the basic stuff is Googleable. A lot of the stuff that I found people would ask me, they could get that same answer from Google. Hey, where I get my DOT from? Like, Google will tell you that. Hey, how do I go about getting my MC? Where I get that from? Google has the answer for that. So to, answer those questions day in and day out, it drives me crazy. And it drives me crazy when it comes from people who, you know, just haven't like Google is here for a reason. Certain things I feel like you should go on your own, and I think when you come to a person who is knowledgeable and tenured and experienced, and if you get a chance, because I don't. It was a time back when I first started streaming, before the channel grew, because this channel has grown organically. Where I could answer everybody's question. I just don't have the time anymore because there's a lot of questions, and the channel has grown. There's a lot of people on stream and so on and so forth. So I don't answer everyone's questions. I have a show for that, the call-in show. But there was a time where I just went down the line because there wasn't many people watching. I would answer everybody's questions, and a lot of those questions were just repetitive, Googleable questions, and it just drove me crazy. I feel like once you get to a place where you're following a creator, and you're listening to this person, and it's clearly this person knows he's like, okay, boom, I get an opportunity to ask a question. He asks a question. I'm going to utilize that time wisely because there's other people that have questions, and I ended the live and I didn't take those questions, but they may have had a good question. So you got a person who has years of experience where you can ask a really good question that you're not going to find on Google. You can't find experience on Google, answers that are going to be based around experience and tenure. Google isn't going to provide you that. You have to speak to a person who has the experience. All right. That's, when you get an opportunity to talk to that type of person, you ask them those type of questions. So I don't, I like, it's just like me sitting down, getting an opportunity to sit down with Elon Musk, and then I asked him like, man, so why did you want to invest in Tesla? I don't care why he wanted to invest in Tesla. It's clear that he wanted to invest in Tesla because he saw it was an opportunity. What's known don't need to be explained. The time that I have with Elon Musk, I'm going to ask him questions on things that I need to know so I can run up a bag, so I can get closer to where he's at. I'm going to ask him the questions that he doesn't talk about in interviews, that I can't find on the internet. I'm going to ask him the questions that only his inner circle would know the answer to, or that type of information he would give to his closest friends. I'm going to answer those questions that are going to ultimately result in revenue going up and to the right. I don't care about why he wanted to do this. I'm not going to waste my time asking no ticky-tack shit that I can find on Google. If I get a chance to sit down with Jeff, I'm not going to ask him, so, man, what was it like building Amazon in your parents' garage? I don't care about that shit. I don't care about what it was like. Yo, Jeff, man, listen, how can I build e-commerce? What I need to do? What's the secret? I'm asking questions that are ultimately going to resort to some type of bag being ran up. So that's why I don't, because it also challenges the viewer. Listen, certain work, go do it yourself, because you need to get accustomed to doing it anyway. You should be constantly learning. It's basic stuff. Utilize Google. Y'all in a time period where y'all don't even have to leave the house. You don't even even where you at. Everybody got their phone glued to them. You could just instantly go Google whatever it is you're looking for this basic shit. Man, back in the day, if you didn't have an encyclopedia, you had to leave the crib, and an encyclopedia didn't give you everything. We had to go to the library. We had to go search for microfilm. We had to go in a dark room, go through all these different aisles and pull out microfilm, search for the damn microfilm, put it under the goddamn thing, and then watch the shit on the wall. Like, come on, man. Like, I just don't. I don't do basic stuff, bro. This is the advanced intermediate channel. Basic stuff is just drive me crazy. It's just gonna drive me crazy, man. So, um, let me see. Da, da, da. Um, moving company has to say I'm one of the few moving company owners in Denver who do a 401k match. That's what's up. What's up, Mr. Jones? You still in here? I'm only gonna talk to Mr. Jones today. Mr. Jones, you still in here, Mr. Jones? I don't see no question. I'm gonna see if Mr. Jones still in here. Vasco says they need a knowledge spoon to feed their mouths like a baby because people are too lazy to study for themselves. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about. Same info they're charging $60 for is on Google. Yeah. So yeah, I just, I'm sorry, but yeah, I just don't have the patience to do it. Sosa, not Sammy, 21 says the problem is not information, it's the people still can't make an executive decision. Agreed. Mr. Jones, you still in the building? We only want to talk to Mr. Jones today. The link is only for Mr. Jones. I ain't gonna drop until Mr. Jones say that he here. All right, Mr. Jones, I'm gonna pull you up, Mr. Jones. So go to link. Talk to me, Mr. Jones. Talk to me. There you go. Only Mr. Jones. I only want to talk to Mr. Jones today. Only Mr. Jones. Yeah. Go ahead and do get all the early stuff. Do that yourself. I wouldn't even invest into anything on the internet with the basic stuff. You can literally get your DOT, your MC, everything you can set up yourself, even structuring your business with the Secretary of State. These are all things that you can do yourself. Just do a little research, read, and just follow the instructions. This is, it's pretty cut and dry once you follow the instructions. What's going on, Mr. Jones?
How you doing, sir?
I'm blessed. What about you?
Oh, couldn't be better. Could not be better. Actually, I'm still in the van.
Yeah,
Uh,
I see.
actually, I'm still in the van. Headed home now.
What
Yes,
kind of van
sir.
is that again?
This is a 17 Ford Transit 250. High
Okay.
roof. It's got the high roof, and it's not the extended wheelbase, but it's a FedEx van. Used to be used in FedEx.
Where'd you buy that? You must have bought that from the auction. Hello? You bought that from the auction,
I
didn't you?
did. Richard Brothers.
I could tell because they
Yes, sir. Richard
didn't
Brothers.
clean
Yes, sir.
they didn't clean it or nothing. That's how I know you bought it from the auction.
Nothing.
That
Nothing. Didn't
thing
clean
you
it.
need.
Didn't take FedEx off of it or anything.
Yeah, you need to throw
I
some.
got a
You
young
need
man
to.
to take the FedEx off. Sir.
Yeah, you need to run that through the detail shop, Mr. Jones.
Oh, absolutely. I got a young man about to put the take this FedEx stuff off of it here this afternoon. So I'm headed back home. To wifey and everything, and I'm gonna take this off. I got a young man waiting on me to get home and call him so he can take this off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. I didn't get the camera right. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm here. Yeah.
I see you. Everything good with
Right.
you,
I'm
Mr.
going
Jones?
in to file this. Yeah, yes, sir. I did. I got the registration on filed yesterday. I filed the DOT, the MCC authority yesterday. Got a USDOT number last night. Phone been blowing up, and I'm about to go in here and do a BOC3. I'm going on in here and do this BOC3 with this company here out of Tennessee. Uh, I'll go on and file it with them, and it appears as though I need a $300,000 insurance policy. Right now, I only got 2550, the state minimum. So as it gets closer to the approving my authority, I'll go on and bump that up to at least the 300,000. I see a lot of people once as asking about 1 million. I was looking all over Indeed and different places last night to get an idea. I missed the show yesterday, but I went back and watched it. I even made notes on it. So shout out to yesterday's show. So today I'll
Yes.
go on and do the BOC3 as well as shop around a little bit for that $300,000 insurance policy.
Oh,
But I
okay.
know you got a great place to tell me, and you'll lead me in the
Who
right
who
direction.
who you? How much you paying for the BOC3?
About $50.
Okay. All right. What you
So
what you
that's what they
what?
call. Now they just called me and said that today. So
Well.
it
Here's
costs
the
fifty
thing.
dollars.
A lot of people gonna call you because as soon as you register, they sell your information. So a lot of people are gonna be calling you trying to solicit you to buy a bunch of things. So just be careful with that. You know what I'm saying?
Does that sound fair,
No,
or does that sound too low, or what?
no, that's cool. But what are you looking to do, Mr. Jones? You might not even. Are you looking to get an MC? Like, what are you planning on doing?
Yes, I want the authority because ultimately I will have box trucks. You remember delivering produce. And because I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee, I touch 3 states: Arkansas, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And my farm is actually in Mississippi. But the equipment, these vans and trucks, is going to be registered in Tennessee under an entity I have in Tennessee. They are well. This one is registered already to my business in Tennessee here.
So, what were you doing today? What you was doing today?
Oh, today. So I've been on the I've been on roadie and dispatch previously, along with some food operations. So today I turned on the app and I picked up a job, picked up from a company called Ferguson's. It was a little
Heating and
box
cooling.
that needed to
Oh,
go, sir,
okay. What? How much
heating
they
in
pay
there,
you to?
something dealing with heating in there, I guess.
Yeah, Ferguson's. What?
Yeah,
How much they pay you for
Ferguson's.
that?
41 bucks. In fact, I took a screenshot of it for you, to share. But it was $41, and it went 28 miles. So I got up this morning, wanted to get out, and once I got over there, they had another order that was going about 7 miles for 50, $14 and change. So I went on, and she asked if I could take it. I said sure. I go on and ride. I was out and about.
Mm.
So I said sure, I'll take it. So I dropped that off for them, as well as went up to a little town called Mumford, Tennessee, which I'm very familiar with. I'm from, that's up in that area is my hometown. So I ran on up there through Millington, right up to Mumford, and dropped that off as well. You know,
Mm.
but the orders was ready. I didn't have to wait. Didn't have to see anyone. Take a picture, and made it on back home safely. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Let's
Yes,
take a
sir.
look at let's look at the outside of the van. Let's take a look at the
Oh, sure.
outside.
Yes, sir.
Flip.
All right, there you go. I just got out of it. Let me back up. Can you see that one?
Wait. FedEx didn't remove. Normally they remove the decals off when they sell
I,
these vans.
I would assume so, right? So I
Yeah.
got a young man coming over now to remove all the decals off. Nothing. Nothing. Just got my new place. I got me some commercial plates yesterday. So I fooled around and started this side and realized that wasn't my job. It actually
You got it. You
caused a
got a heat
blister,
gun? You
on
got
my finger. Oh yeah,
you was just
yeah, I got a heat
you
gun.
used okay.
Yeah, I got a heat gun. It caused a blister. And then that's my little trailer right there, my little 6x12 trailer right there. I just got that in last week too.
The
Uh,
open one or the enclosed one?
it's enclosed. Yeah, the open one with that lawnmower. See that a young lady gave me that zero turn on that lawnmower a couple of weeks ago because she couldn't get it started, and I ordered a starter and a relay for it, and it cranks up just perfectly fine.
She
So
gave
in
you a
my
zero.
community of Orange Mound,
She gave you a
sir,
zero turn. That's like a $5,000 lawnmower. That zero turn.
hey man, I don't think that would hit that number, but she wanted it
Mm-hmm.
moved before Christmas, and she's another farmer friend of ours, and so she called me up and said, "Hey, come get this thing out of here before the
Let me,
holidays."
let me see
And
it.
I
Let me
did
see that
that.
lawnmower. Let me see it.
Hold 1 second. Let me set this food on the porch. Oh, for my wife. My wife had me go and see, even in my front yard at home, it's a garden. You see all that?
Oh,
So
okay.
my wife did all that garden stuff right there.
So
Let me
so
see here.
you say you live in Orange Mound?
Orange Mound, Tennessee, baby. If you can make it in Orange Mound, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah, that's where A
Well,
Ball
all that
MJ A Ball MJG.
stuff.
You heard me?
Furrow, time cutter, MX
You
5000 she gave me right there. She gave me that thing right
yeah.
there.
That's
So I
about
put a start and a relay on it.
that's about a $4,000
And
lawnmower.
And if you can look right back there, there's another one back there and behind the trailer. I pushed the trailer back up there behind another one. So what I want to do is, I want this summer, or this spring actually, I want to encourage a couple of young men that's around here on, like to hang out, that want to work. Number one, they have to need to work. Really, I really need them to need to work. And we're going to create an opportunity for them to do a little landscaping, little lawn service or something. I'm just trying to create another avenue for somebody else to do that.
Okay.
I can, been kind of blessed. I want to get
Yeah, we lost you there for a second.
her.
You still there?
So
You still
there's the
there?
17, that van. Yes, sir. That van.
Oh,
I picked that van up for 12,000.
okay. Yeah, you said
Yeah.
you from Orange Mound, so you heard of A Ball and MJG, right?
Come on, man.
Yeah, cause you
Come on,
about
man.
yeah, I know you know A Ball and MJG.
All these boys.
You know what's your
All
favorite
these
song
boys
by
right over there in
what
Castalia.
what's your favorite song by A Ball and MJG, Mr. Jones? How old are you, Mr.
I
Jones? How
don't.
old are you? How
I'm not a.
how old are you?
Man, I'm 58, man.
You
I'm
58.
58.
You 58.
Yes, sir.
What is this?
hmm
2024. So
Yeah,
in 1990
66,
so in
1966.
so in 1994 you was 28,
Marine Corps. Marine Corps.
but you was 28 in
I was doing
94.
the Marine Corps. Yeah,
Right.
somewhere now. Okay.
So you should
Yeah.
be up on 8 Ball and
Uh,
MJG.
See, I'm not that type of person. I'm going to tell
You a what?
I'm not that. I don't do very much entertainment.
What type of music you listen to, Mr. Jones? All right, man, Mr. Jones, he ain't got that Wi-Fi. He ain't up on that Wi-Fi
I'm going to
yet.
do some
There you go.
uh, time on the West Coast in California.
You said you're gonna do some time on the West Coast. Mr. Jones, you gotta get your Wi-Fi game together. You gotta get your Wi-Fi up to par. You gotta catch up to the Wi-Fi gang. That's what you. You in the house. As soon as you pulled up to the crib, your phone should have automatically picked up the Wi-Fi game. You gotta turn your Wi-Fi on. You can set it up in your phone
My
where it
wife
just
likes watching
automatically.
your videos too.
You said your wife like watching my videos.
Yeah, he on the video, baby. Yeah, my wife likes watching your shows too, man.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to cut down on the profanity then a little bit. Hey, Mr. Jones, you got to do something about that Wi-Fi, man. Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. This man in the crib in the Wi-Fi. As soon as he pulled up to the crib, the Wi-Fi got shoddy. Mr. Jones. It's supposed to get better. And his signal was better when he was out in the world. When he pulled up to the crib, he just lost it all. That's backwards. Mr. Jones, what you on, man? All right, man. Mr. Jones ain't up on Wi-Fi yet. We gotta catch Mr. Jones up on Wi-Fi. So I'm gonna leave him paused. Hey, Mr. Jones, if you can hear me, your Wi-Fi, hang up and call back. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hang him up. Hey, Mr. Jones, if you can hear me, hang up and call back, man. You gotta turn your Wi-Fi on. You can set it up where it just joins automatically. Oh, here you go. When you pull up to the crib.
On the two.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry. Did you connect back? There we go.
Yes, sir.
Now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my wife was trying to find you. She said something was going wrong with the internet. It was freezing up on the back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you look up my farm? Did you look up Chulahoma's garden? I know you're busy, man.
Wait. What you call it again?
Chulahoma. CHULAHOMA. Chulahoma's garden. And you can look it up on YouTube and see some of the things, see our farm and see some of the things that we do, stuff like that.
You got a website, or is it just a Facebook page?
I do not have a website at the present. I do not have a website presently. That is something that is coming and need to come fast. I see that I got to have that website presence.
Yeah, I see.
So I don't have anybody that has created it yet for me.
I see your Facebook. You got a bunch of
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife. Yeah, she does all that stuff.
Okay, it's nice.
And then our nonprofit is Mississippi Sustainable, especially Crop Growers Alliance. I don't know if she has a YouTube or I think maybe that I don't know about a Facebook. I know we're on LinkedIn there. We do a lot of business on there through LinkedIn. So yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
yeah, I see you. Okay, all right then.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
I see. Is this a video of you?
Probably so.
It's a video.
All on YouTube?
No, Facebook.
On Facebook? Oh, it could be.
It's your wife? This you?
Yeah, Country Thick, or we call her. She may, if I refer to her as Country Thick or Dolores. Yeah, that's my wife.
Your wife is Country Thick? That's her name? I don't want to call her.
Yeah, that's what we call her. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got me on the screen. There you go.
Yeah.
Look at that. Right, man, how you working that thing, man?
Man, working that thing.
That's me right there, brother.
That's you, brother.
That's me.
Brother. Yeah, brother.
There you go.
That's you, see? I can rewind you to the beginning. I can rewind you back.
Okay, well.
I can turn the volume on.
Get over here.
We can hear you. Page. Yeah. There you go.
We are headed to Marks, Mississippi.
You never seen this before?
Oh, okay.
This you? You never seen it?
Oh, sure. Sure. Yeah, we were headed to Marks, Mississippi. If I was going to Marks, I was probably going to the processing plant.
Ceremony, celebration.
Oh.
Something, our first time going. thanks to Mr. Charles Houston. Down that way.
Oh, Charles Houston, my mentor, the old cat.
That's been keeping us abreast. Y'all pair up with a senior farmer, somebody who know what's going on.
That's it.
I'm so thankful to know him.
But grateful to know him.
He let us know about it the other day, and we're en route to go to the pea.
Hey, we do Purple Hull peas here.
Celebration. And then
what now?
And
we got a couple of
we do Purple Hull peas. We was going to a Purple Hull pea project
also, he was
down in Marks, Mississippi.
And y'all know Farm Girl is waiting on her nukes. She's going to.
And we do bees, nukes. The nukes were for the bees. We do honey bees. So we all, we're organic. We're in a program called Transition to Organics. We're certified naturally grown already. And so what we do is, we want to teach people about eating healthy, eating whole foods, get off of processed foods, things of that nature. So we were going to the Purple Hull Pea celebration, where all the farmers that grew peas and participated in the Alcorn State University, great job there, where everybody who participates in the Alcorn State University, which is an HBCU school down here in Mississippi, and we take our peas to the processing plant. There they sell them out and pay us by the bushel. You see, so we don't have to go out and individually sell. So this year, I was awarded a grant through Mississippi Department of Ag to help put up our processing plant that I was telling you about the other night. And we got we're getting 2 pea shellers ourselves early next year. They just about to distribute the funds out now in the grant. So we got 2 pea shellers, a walk-in freezer, a walk-in cooler, ice machine, all of that, So, compliance and regulations is my thing.
Who write the proposal?
Who does what?
The proposal.
I do. I write all my grants.
You write all the proposals yourself?
Everything. I write all my grants. Yeah. And we over 400 this year, and hopefully the January the 8th we'll be looking at another 125. And that's just grant funded for agriculture. We're historically underserved farmers.
You part of that? Is that the what they call it? Black Farmers Association? What's the?
We are good.
Yeah.
No, we're not part of that.
But that exists though. But it exists though. I heard of it, right? Because didn't they do something last year?
I'll tell you more about that personally. Okay, before we just throw that out here over this screen. Okay, but we're not. Listen, we're not part of that one. So there has to be a reason for that.
Why you
there has to be a reason.
We not part. Why you do it? That's a bad thing. They part.
We want you to be part of something that's going to be out for the farmer, for the farmer's benefit, and not so much for the ones that's just writing grants. Okay, I understood last night. I was listening. I think you came up and you said something. You started this in 2017 or somewhere around there.
Started what in 2017?
Did you start something up in 2017?
I started cross docking in the 2016 beginning.
Cross docking in 20, and I said, that was the year I bought that land in 2017. I was listening to the show last night from yesterday, and I said, he started that when I bought that land down there. But there are in our farming industry, the historically underserved farmers, the black farmers, have been greatly underserved, and we just passed out $2 billion in discrimination financial assistance program. Okay, and Biden is getting ready to walk out the door and they just put out another $2 billion they're about to give away. I'm looking for my notes. There. Okay, here I come. Uh, they are passing out another $2 billion. Well, babe, I'm sorry. I got to walk around. If you say this, then here, give me the other form, please. Give me the paper. Give me the paper about the thing. This. Yeah. Okay, that's my wife. She made sure I had it. Thank you. It's called Marketing Assistance for Specialty Crops, MASC program. So in my grant, let me tell you what I do basically in my grant. In my grant, basically what I do is I teach other farmers how to, access the services from Natural Resource Conservation, the United States Department of Agriculture, Natural Resource NRC Conservation Services, NRCS. Okay. Now, you could be a farmer in your house in Chicago if you put a lettuce or something in a 5-gallon bucket. You can qualify. You can go get you a farm number and qualify for some of these resources. This just came out December the 10th, and January the 8th is the final date to apply for this money. And even if you didn't farm last year, you could do an estimation of what you plan on doing in 2025, and fill out one of these two applications and get a minimum of $125,000. This is something that we should, talk about so we could share, and so I could send these people to their local NRC, go get them a 5-gallon bucket and put some dirt in it, and say, hey, I put a seed in that thing, and I want to apply for this money. These seed monies right here, this is your reparations that they passing out. And since then, they put another $1.13 billion into what's called the local food LFPA, local food produce LFPA, local food produce something. Anyway,
agriculture.
Yeah, agriculture. See, now everybody don't have to be farming like I do or like our people do. Okay. Or urban ag is a big thing. Urban agriculture is a big thing. Look at some of this. Some of these guys need some resources to get into this field. And this, you can project, you can have an idea. I want to farm, and I think I'm going to do $500,000 or $2 million next year and apply for this money. You ain't got to have no proof of it. That was just like the discrimination financial assistance. Now, if you want information on that, call my 662-484-3260, that line, so I can get credit for giving my consultation out.
You just gave your number out online like that. We live, right?
Well, hey, okay. Hey, I'm trying to help anybody that wants some help. Hey, I don't care. If they call it, I'll answer it and tell them about it individually. That's what I get paid for.
What I want to ask you two questions. One is pertaining to this, and then another one is pertaining to something else. What
Oh, yes, sir.
What you know about the farmers market?
I started 2 farmers markets 2 years ago. One in my community of Chula-Homas Garden, and one in Okolona, Mississippi, for Mississippi Minority Farming Alliance. Okay, started 2 farmers markets. Now these markets are going to be able to get vouchers, what we call vouchers, where the seniors and WIC vouchers, senior voucher program, WIC vouchers, where the state agriculture department is going to, we could give $10 to each senior or young lady who's pregnant, so that they could shop with our farmers who come out to the farmers market, and they could exchange the free voucher for $10 worth of fresh produce. So I started 2 farmers markets myself.
So what's the logistics look like for the farmers market?
Oh man, let me tell you, this is a farmer actually don't want to sell anything that he don't grow. We have some honorable farmers.
No. I'm talking about I'm talking more specific to the transportation logistics. As far
I'm getting there to you. Mm-hmm. I'm getting there to you. So most of the farmers don't know that. Now, for me, I have what's called a PACA license, Perishable Agriculture Commodity, PACA, Perishable Agriculture Commodities Act. If you're moving produce, whether you're just transporting it or not, you got to have this license, okay? So I have that because we buy truckloads, and then we distribute the truckloads out. We may, send it over to the processing plant, cut it up, sell it to the school system, sell it out to other farmers who's doing farmers markets and things of that nature, so that they can have a variety of product on their farmers market table. So when you get into that business of moving produce, it's wide open. I mean, we can't, there are lanes. If you look at the Agriculture Marketing Service, the United States Department of Agriculture, if you Google, you're on that computer, USDA AMS terminal markets, you would look under the truck routes to see how many trucks are available, the availability of trucks coming out of California, the availability of trucks coming across the border, and distributing what product. So I would start with the agricultural marketing service and look at their truck routes, and it would show you base pays too for the weekly base pays. So that's a good lane to be in for somebody who's in the big trucking business.
So I'm speaking more specifically to transporting to and from the farm to the farmer's market, because a lot of people ask me about this. I had a guy on the show maybe last year. He threw these numbers around, and every time somebody watched this video, they, man, can you get me in contact with this person? So let's say you a farmer and you were going to this farmer's market in town every week. How would you go about transporting your items to and fro if you didn't have your own means of transportation? Like, how would this work?
Your farmer that we serve mostly, they're gonna put it on a trailer in an enclosure. Mark, are we still together?
Yep.
Are you still with me? Okay, all right. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Somebody called in. I told them I couldn't talk right now. So normally what they'll do is they'll send it. They'll take it on the back of a trailer, and if they got an enclosed trailer, they'll take it there, or they'll throw it on the back of their truck, or they just whatever way of means they can get it there. Now,
I'm talking about outsource.
When you talk about compliance issues, exactly. Now I'm gonna get to compliance issues. Okay, when we start talking about compliance, those are not the most food safety. Those are not the most safe ways of traveling with produce. And we're trying to educate our farmer to utilize refrigerated trucks, box trucks, even these little vans. Some of these vans are refrigerated. Get them a van. Something that would be food safe. It has to be food safe. In which, if you go into a local farmers market, down here in the South, they're not doing that. Now you got up there in Chicago. Oh, I forgot the name of that big market. It's 2 or 3 of those big markets around Chicago and places. They're probably required to come in there on a refrigerated truck. See, my thought was, how can I connect with somebody there in Chicago and ship produce up there? But a local guy is going to take it on the back of his truck.
No, I'm speaking in like, let's say you are a farmer, or you are a farmer, and you don't have the resources to transport the items every Saturday morning to and from, because a lot of people come up and they ask this, and then I've had people recently, I forgot, but there was a guy who came up and he said he makes about $1,500 a day or some shit. Or, well, I'm sorry, Lord have forgiveness. Apologize, Mr. Jones. $1,500 a day transporting to and from a specific farmer's market, and $1,500 a day is a lot of money. And I don't. He was an older guy, so I didn't challenge that number, but people watch that video, and nowadays people hear these big numbers, and man, Mark, what's that guy's number? I want to know how to. So, do you
Was he
have
in a
an
refrigerator
idea?
truck?
Yeah, I think he got a refrigerator truck, but if let's say you had to transport goods from the from the farm to a farmer's market, what would that process look like? How much would you be willing to pay someone? Because they would have to pick the stuff up, take it to the farmer's market, unload, and then they would have to come back later on that day, pick it up, load, and then take it back to the farm and unload, right? So what does
I
that
wouldn't
look
have
like?
a clue. What
Or
would I
what did
be
you know?
willing to pay?
Well, if you haven't
Mm,
done it, I thought maybe you did it before. I thought maybe you did it, so I was
not
just
that.
gonna pick your brain. Okay,
Not
so
that.
then,
Mm-mm.
all right, so then,
Not
all
that.
right, so
I'm
then,
sorry. No, not that. Most of the
all right.
farmers I see, they moving theirs on their own. You know, on their own. We're trying. There was some funding. Uh, Resilient food system infrastructure. That we got last year to help with post harvest activities, and that will fall exactly within post harvest. So several of our farmers this year, in the coming year, will end up with a, I know a couple, a few, maybe three, that's going to purchase box trucks that have the refrigerated box trucks, and we'll
Mm,
see how that materializes this year. But so far down here in the South, I haven't seen that.
mm. Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Let me ask you this. Now this is outside of farming. I want your
Okay.
take because you older. Um, a lot of people today, everybody wants to be their own boss today, right?
Hmm.
Everybody wants to be their own boss, and I think a lot of people go about it the wrong way. This is what I was talking about today. How would
Hmm.
you? Okay, let's do a little role play scenario. I'm a
Okay.
guy. Let's say I'm a guy I'm 27, 28 years old. I have 3 children.
Mm.
I got a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. 28, 3 kids, 5, 2, and 1. And I am currently working I'm a forklift driver. I make about $1,500 a week,
Mm.
$6,000 a month. I got $10,000 to my name. My baby mama, she not my wife. I'm just making, I'm making it just theatrics. There's my baby mama. She not my wife, but she live with me. She don't work. She take care of the kids. We got is the $6,000 income, and I got $10,000 saved up. How would you? But I want to start a business.
Hmm. Do you know
I want to start.
marketing?
Hold on. Let me finish. I want to
Okay.
start a
Okay.
business. So I come to you and I tell you, Mr. Jones, I'm finna leave this forklift job. Man, I'm just finna go out and start this box truck business, man. I'm just gonna do it, man. I need to do something, Mr. Jones. You think it'll be a good idea, Mr. Jones? I got $10,000 saved up. My baby mama don't work. We got a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. What would be your advice for me?
Same as you gave him. The same exact as you gave him. Get you some more money saved up. If you want to go, if do you really just want to go into box trucking, or are you just really looking for to increase your income? Okay, because see, $10,000 in this field, I think he said he was going to rent a truck too. You're going to
I,
soak that up too fast.
I'm just giving you just a scenario. I ain't speaking on nobody in general. I just want from
Well,
your generation's perspective. I'm
if you
just
don't
curious
own
to
the
hear where you
truck,
would go about it.
if you don't
Hmm?
own the truck, if you got to still, if you're gonna maintain your job, it's a few more variables in there. You know, now if you just want to start going to the box trucking business, get you some more money saved up. Maybe your job is not providing enough, for you to stack your money up fast enough. But if you just want to get out here and find out what entrepreneurship is, maybe you could find another industry. You see, and as you spoke about the internet, having a website, you know, you need to look at all of that first. Look at another industry first. If you just have this thing for box trucking, uh, look at another industry first. There's a lot of other ways that you can make income. I had a very successful 20 years ago. I had a very successful satellite business before 9/11 happened. 9/11 wiped us out of that business. You know, back in the day, I had a pretty successful. Uh, uh, Back in the day, before I even left service, I did business and cell phones. You know, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. You know, but right now and today, you got $10,000 and you want to increase your income. Hey, maybe you need to go buy a pressure washer and learn some marketing and advertising. Do some every door direct mail where you send a postcard out to everybody. Go around and put some use some bandit signs or something like that to get you some business. Because you can go out there and wash the house and a driveway and the sidewalk and make $600, $800, $1,000 depending on the community.
So, but you got the financial dynamic that I threw in the equation, but did you catch the livelihood dynamic as far as
He can't afford it. You can't afford to do that. I would not want my son, who's 35, okay, to risk my grandchildren, little nest egg, and then he have to come back and start depending on mom and dad again. You see, for that type of a risk.
So let me ask you this.
I would want my son to do it.
Let me ask you this. Person 28, 3 kids, job, forklift driver, make about $1,500 a week, $10,000 saved up. That's it. You would basically tell them, you know what, you can't take the risk, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what advice would you give them, or where would you tell them what would they need? Where you would set where would you think they would need to be in order for them to take that risk in their current situation financially?
Okay. I'll just look over here on my wall. I love to write things down. And on my wall over here, I got a refrigerated truck. Okay. You see, I buy things from the auctions and stuff like that. I budgeted from the auction about $25,000 from the auction. But I know to get in that area, I need to have at least 50,000 set aside, and then I need to have about 35,000 that I can cash flow. See, for me, I need to have that money set aside so I can cash flow. So all of my expenses is going to come out of that 35,000. All of my accounts receivable is going to go into that 35,000. I don't ever, like I said the other night, I don't ever want nobody working for me to wonder if I can support them while they're out there. You know, you got to have the nest egg, and I would do it like that. Uh, if I had to go out and take a loan, I would go borrow 50,000. I would take me a $35,000 side on a property or something, just to have a cash flow, and then I would work it along that arena. But you still got to know how to market yourself. If you're going to go out and do that now, you got there's some risk. You know, there's a lot of more risk to take into account. But $50,000 should maybe get you a truck. I like the other night I was asking about the NTP warranty. I like to be warranted. I like to be insured. I like to be covered on things, even if I have to come out of pocket a few more $1,000 or something like that. If the truck break down, NTP ain't gonna cover everything. I understand.
50,000, but don't forget. I see. I think you forgetting the whole dynamic, the family structure dynamic.
Right.
So 50,000.
Well, if he set up like
spouse don't work, 3 little kids,
mm-hmm.
you think 50,000 on the risk. How much of that 50,000 would they invest? What would their risk tolerance Where would it stop at as far as the money is concerned? Because it's still a risk.
Now, if he's going to work his own truck, then of course there's inherent risk in everything. In every business, there's an inherent risk, okay, that we take. We take that. He who risks the most stands to gain the most as well. You know, now if he's willing to get up and get out here and go to work, 50,000 could make him, I think, on a truck, but he's gonna work that truck.
Okay. So 50,000, how much can he invest? But how much he still need cash flow? You need cash flow to sustain the business, plus sustain his cost of living, his livelihood. 3 little kids and a wife that don't work. So out of that 50,000,
so that means that he got to go to work immediately.
No. That's not what I'm asking you. What we spending and what we setting to the side. We only got 50s. You said 50 your numbers. So I'm just trying to see what your plan would be. I'm your grandson. I got 50. Listen.
Okay.
I got to make it more personal for you, mister, because I think you hear me, but I don't think you hear me. I'm your grandson. I got your grandkids. 5, 2, and 1. My baby mama don't work. I got 50. I say, granddaddy, I'm finna quit my job, start this box truck business. You would tell me okay. You would tell me okay. Oh, you said what you say, old boy for? What you say, old boy for? Because we coming to live with you if it don't work, granddad.
That's right.
Okay, so
you need 50,000 to get you a truck and to get you and to get all the regulatory things set up.
All I got is
then
50.
He needs some side money.
No. All I got is 50. That's all I got.
Okay.
Now I'm asking you now. Tell me, because you said you got a few businesses under your belt, so guide me.
Sure. Get this education. Get this education and get out there and get to work. He can work. He can work now.
You listen. No. I'm asking you to give me the plan. I need the plan, man.
Okay.
I'm coming. You my granddaddy. You had the satellite business before the 911. You had back in the 90s, you had the pager and the beeper business. We had the brick cell phone.
Right.
We had the Nextels, chirp. We had the brick cellular one. You remember Cell One back in the day? US Cellular.
I literally had to leave town and go and have my first cell phone installed.
All right.
I had to go to St. Louis and get my first phones installed.
The pouch cell phone bag, we threw it on our shoulder with the pouch, and hello. So you had a few business under your belt. So you my granddad. Because I'm coming to you for the game. I want your perspective for the audience since you older. I want your perspective. You my granddad.
All he got is 50,000. All he got is 50,000.
So look at it from a personal perspective. We family now. I got 50, granddad.
Yeah.
I got 50. I got my 5-year-old, my 2-year-old, my 1-year-old, my baby mama who don't work. She at home. Granddad, I got 50. Right. I'm finna quit my job, granddad, and I'm finna start this box truck business. Granddad, I know you done had some business in the past. How do I start this box truck business with 50,000? Do you encourage him to start it? And if you do encourage him to start it and you okay it, how do I, delegate the 50,000? Because all I got is 50.
Right. All we're going to talk about is 50. We're not going to talk about the 35 or no more for that's pool of money. 50? Okay. So we got 50,000.
All we got is 50.
So,
okay.
So 25,000 will get you a truck. You got to turn it down, baby. You got to turn it down, baby. Take it on back in there, son. Okay. So 50, baby, you got to turn that off now.
Yeah, if you watching the TV, you're gonna have to mute it or turn it off.
My wife just walked in. Yeah. You can't be in here and I talked to him. You got to go back there. So 50,000. $25,000, as I researched on Ritchie Brothers, will buy you a truck. I looked at the previous buys and what was going on. I looked at the year, make, and model. I looked at the mileage on. Okay, I researched and found out what NTP would put under a warranty. Okay, on 17 and 18, 4200 4x2 or whatever they call it, and You could buy a truck with them that'll fit that warranty for about $25,000. The warranty is going to cost you about $6,000 or $7,000. Okay, so right there, you're out of 30,000. You are already got some type of experience. I would not suggest that they go out there just totally green. I agree with you. I don't care if you start in your car. Get some experience delivering things. Get some experience delivering things. Because you're about to spend another $1,000 or so in straps and pallet jack and the dolly and all that type stuff. Then you're gonna need insurance. Then you're gonna need insurance. So now you out of 35, coming on up 30, $40,000. Now, if you got $10,000 and you own with your own authority, you own with your own authority where you can go out here and book your own loads, I think that a person can make a living at that. They can come back up and make them a living at it. Now, you got $10,000. You got to have some for miscellaneous mishaps, and you got to be able to maintain your home. Okay, you got to be able to maintain your home. So, in a month's time, you should be done got in with the factoring companies that you all talked about, be able to factor some of those loads. So you will start at income base. I'll give you a couple of weeks, but when you make this move, you got to be ready to hit. But I'll give you a couple of weeks to start seeing some income come back in. You're gonna not live as peaceful and comfortable, for a period of time. Is 50,000 enough to get started? I think it will be. Would it be better if he could, if a person could have another uh, line of credit or more cash on the side to work out of to be your working capital? Absolutely, absolutely, it would be better. Can he do it on
All
50?
we got is
I really believe you
50.
could.
All we got is 50
I
now.
think he could do it on 50.
It ain't.
I don't.
It ain't
He
no
can't
way.
touch it
Okay,
at
so
10.
all right, now you said 40. We in the dough with 40. We in the dough with 40.
Yeah.
We got 10. We got 10,000 left.
Mm-hmm.
Now this got to sustain the business. We got our 5-year-old, our 2-year-old, 1 year. Now these your grandbabies. Now these your grandbabies.
Right.
You love these kids.
Right.
And my baby
Right.
mama don't work. You like her. You said, boy, why you don't marry that girl? Why you don't marry that girl? You want me to marry that girl?
Mm.
Man,
And I got 3 grandkids, and I done said that before.
You got 3 grandkids. You done told me, boy, you need to marry that girl, but she's still my baby mama. But she don't work though. So now you telling me, granddad, you telling me 10,000 gonna make it? You got another room in there, granddad? Is it another room in there? You got an open room? Tell me how 10,000, because rent still due, granddad. And guess what?
Yeah.
I'm on the new. Granddad.
Mm-hmm.
10,000. Do you think I'm gonna run it up in a month where when that month come around, I'm gonna be able to cover the cost of the bills for the house or the apartment, whatever we living in, and still conquer this learning curve of not booking loads? These guys not understanding what it costs me fully to run my business.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, see, that right there. That's a problem right there. See, that's where our problem come in. At is the information that our young people have. You said it earlier. You all could Google anything, and people won't even pick up this computer that they carry in their pocket and Google anything. Our information.
I didn't ask you that, Mr. Jones. I'm asking
Well,
you.
it's part of it.
I hear you, but you told me you can absolutely do it in that situation. So now we have.
It depends on the individual.
But
it depends on the individual.
But what about the circumstances of the business, the industry? I'm on the new. Brokers not dealing with me like that. I can't book. I'm not booking. I'm not booking out fully for the week. I'm having an issue sourcing opportunities. Now.
Right. See.
Now we.
That wouldn't be my business plan for you. That wouldn't be my business plan. Number one.
I just asked you.
See,
that's what I'm.
Now, if you're starting off See, I wouldn't start you off in a box truck with $50,000.
No.
I would tell you first to do yes.
I'm asking you as a older person. That's why I want you to, granddad. I got 50,000. Listen to me, Mr. Jones, because I'm coming to you for wisdom now. This is for the,
sure. I'm with
granddad. I got 50,000.
you.
You know, I got a 5, a 2, and a 1-year-old, and my baby mama don't work. I'm sustaining. I work a forklift job. I make $1,500 a week. I say, granddad, I'm thinking about quitting my job, start this box truck business. I got 50,000. You would encourage me to do it, right? Based off what you just told me.
No. Well, it
you just told me you would.
I wouldn't encourage you. I would not encourage you to. I would not encourage you to go do it. If you came to me and said this is what you want to do, I'm going to, from a business standpoint, I'm going to consider what my grandson's intellect is. What is his motivation? How motivated is he? What type of individual he is? Now, if you one that's got to be told, to look around and see if there's not somewhere because the truck broke down on the side of the highway, if you one that's got to be told everything, you better sit your butt down. Okay? Now, I'm serious. You remember that conversation the other night, right?
I know you serious.
Okay, so now if you got to be told everything, then you don't need to be out here trying to be no entrepreneur. If you can't think past the tip of your nose, you need to sit down and go keep that job. But now, if you plan this out, if you map this out, 50,000 to move from this one van. My intent is to pick up another in about 3 months.
Okay.
And then to step into that refrigerated truck.
Say he's a smart.
Months, I'm sorry.
Say he's a smart individual. Let's negate. Forget about if he's a slow learner, not a self-starter, not ambitious. This is an ambitious person, a self-starter.
Okay.
I want the reason why I'm coming to you, because you're a different generation. You're older than me, right? So I'm just curious what your mindset was. The risk is still the risk, right?
The risk is gonna be there,
right? So the risk tolerance there, and that's why I created it where it would be close. You know what I'm saying? A family member. You got your grandson is 28 years old. He has a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old. He has a baby mama. She doesn't work. $10,000 is or $50,000 is what you said. So we're gonna go with $50,000 is what he has to invest. You said 40,000 would get him in the door, right? If you sit down and say, all right, grandson, let me figure this out. You go find the truck. You do all the research for him. 40,000 is what you deem, because he's coming to you. You are the person in the family that he's coming to for this entrepreneurial advice. And it's in your best interest to advise him correctly, because you don't want him to fail, right? So
correct.
You already said that you would okay it, right? You would okay it, right?
I would support him. All
right. So now what does that support look like? What does that support look like? This is the question. This is a great question. What does that support look like, Mr. Jones?
He's not going to be put out of no house. My grandson ain't going to miss anything. That's me.
That's great. So if it goes awry,
right.
If the 50 is invested,
right,
and he has 10 working capital to sustain the business and the livelihood, it's 15 days in, and the money that he's spent more money in that first 15 days than he's made. He's down to 5.
Right.
Rent is due in 15 days. That's $1,500 plus all the other bills, plus the insurance for the truck, right? Plus the cost of operation to get through the next 2 weeks. We already know 15 days in that $5,000 ain't enough. It's already a done deal, pretty much.
Did he have income coming back in?
What do you
Did he make any money? Did he have income?
He made income, but he's dealing with the learning curve that a lot of most people deal with that's coming in new. So that learning curve is not free. This is what I'm trying to, I thought we would kind of understand and kind of, there's a learning curve associated with it. Like you think he gonna hit the ground running. He gonna hit the ground running. But okay, but in most situations, that's not the case. So
in most situations, that's not the case.
So we got 10.
But why is that not the case? Why is that not the case?
Well, sometimes
lack of education.
Hold on. That's one. But here's the thing: we speaking from a positive perspective. Sometimes it could be things that's beyond our control. Some of these things can be beyond our control. We could have all the education, and let's say this guy is an educated person. He has you to advise him from, because you have an experienced background in entrepreneurship. So, but we're dealing with the situation at hand. $50,000, $40,000 invested. We got $10,000 to our names. We still end back with this $10,000.
Sure.
So what do we do? Because I'm new.
Go to work.
I'm not booking. I'm not. I get what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. And you know why you're saying that, Mr. Jones? You know why you're saying that? Because you're saying that from comfortability. See, you have to put yourself in the mind frame of a person who does not have your financial status. You're speaking from comfortability. See, when you got a bag of money already, a big old bag of money, all you thinking about is work because you have that cushion. We speaking from a perspective of a person who don't have this is it. See, you retired, you like my mom. You remind me of my mom. You just buying stuff. You just bored. Just old with some old money. You ain't worried about nothing. You just buying stuff, just Christmas shopping for. I go to my mama's house the other day, all this Christmas, and Mark, I need you to go to Walmart. I'm about a bunch of bikes and take them to the church so they can give. Just got old money. See, it's a difference when you got old money. You can invest in your risk tolerance, because you didn't bring it all with you. You doing it because you're bored for a hobby. We talking about a person who your kids is grown and gone. Your house is probably paid for. Your house paid for, ain't it, Mr. Jones? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
I don't have bills.
Go to work. My point exactly. So go to work. Go to work may not be the answer. Yeah, obviously go to work is no. Go to work. We know that. What's known don't need to be explained. That's the point of starting a business. You're going to work. But there's more variables that we have to think about. Because he could go to work. He could be looking for work. He could be taking work. He could be sourcing work. He could be sourcing opportunity. Or he cannot be sourcing opportunity due to the situation of being new, having a new authority. Or market fluctuations, economical downturns, getting outbid. You have to think about the competitive dynamic of this industry as well as seasonality, market fluctuations, supply and demand. So it may be things that may be beyond the control of the operator.
I agree. I agree.
So now where does that put us at, Mr. Jones? Where does that put us at Mr. Jones?
Okay. There's I sat here and I listened to you all for a few months. I mean, when I mean listen, I have literally set up and watched you all.
I know you watch a lot of channels, Mr. Jones, but we have real conversations over here. This is the no fluff zone over here.
For what I've learned,
we got real conversations over here. Okay, I'm listening.
Exactly. From what I've learned is, if you're limited in resources like that, you may not want to just jump into a box truck. You might want to start with something. an SUV. Start with a little van. Get your authority. See, I'm taking I'm walking through the process right now. I got the van. Okay, I got this. I'm working on now getting the authority. I got I got some insurance to move the vehicle, of course. I I'm working on getting the authority. Today I do the BOC3. In 21 days, in about 14 days, I know I need to bump that
So,
insurance up to the 300,000 PI and PD. You know, I'm not going to do that right now today. And there's some processes. Now, back in the day, you could get a box truck and you could run right onto Amazon. As long as you got your insurance and stuff, you could run right onto Amazon, and some of these guys went right
can't
to work.
you can't do
Amazon
that
may
no
not be
more.
the best pay, but it's a consistent pay. Exactly. That's it. Back in the day. Now you got to wait 6 months. You got to have an authority, active authority, for 6 months. So go get you an authority on your car. Go get you an authority on your SUV. Go get you an authority on a little van and get that authority seasoning, because that will get you a, a livable wage instead of get you some work every day. Keep listening. Get on the dad boards. Get on truck stop. Get on some of these low boards. Start looking and learning, so that when that day comes and you actually not going to jump out there and get your box truck, you're not starting off at zero. No, if somebody just wake up in the morning and they won a lottery yesterday for $50,000, and this is what they have, this is all they got, I wouldn't suggest that. Could a person who's done some research and put some knowledge under their belt invest some time listening and learning from you guys, from the experts in the industry? I think they would have a in
I,
my town now. I'm not in
well,
Chicago. I'm not in Chicago,
well,
but
well.
In Memphis, Tennessee, hey, he could possibly survive.
See,
He
that's
could
the
survive.
problem, though, Mr. Jones. That's the problem. You keep saying you guys
I,
on the internet. It's the people on the internet that's misleading the people. Where do you
oh,
think they
not
get?
everybody.
Where? Hold on,
Not
hold on.
everybody.
Where you think the influence is coming from, Mr. Jones?
Well, we have to rightfully divide what we hear. We have to be able to study, number one. If I hear it and put me in the right focus, frame it up right. Now, I can use this internet right here, and I can look up and
But
find anything I want to find.
see, Mr. Jones, see, you ain't tapped in all the way like that. You ain't tapped in all
Okay.
the way, and I ain't gonna go into details
No,
because it's
help me,
going.
help me. It's okay. It's okay. Bring it on so everybody else can learn. Bring it
You ain't
on so
tapped
everybody
in.
else can learn.
They
It's not just
already
me.
know. See,
It's
hold on.
all the listeners.
Most of
Use
my
me. I don't mind.
hold on. My audience is 60% 25 through 45. So when I say tapped in, they
Yes,
kind of
sir.
understand what I'm saying. When you
Okay, help
come
me.
in YouTube, you see people up here, but when I say you ain't tapped in,
Yes, sir.
you got to be really tapped in to understand what I'm talking about. Where when I'm saying that it's some of the people are the cause of the problem, are the root of the problem. The people, but then
Some of
again,
which people?
the full blame still goes back onto the individual because you have to be able to decipher,
Yes.
what's real and what's not, or fluff.
Right. Exactly. Or
All
you'll
right,
get out here and you'll learn the hard way. Or you'll learn the hard way.
and
And then they'll realize.
we see that a lot. We see that a lot. The big
Yes,
part of the
I'm sure.
problem is the influence, bad
Yeah.
influence.
hmm Cream is going to rise to the top. See,
But
the
and then
cream is going to rise to the top. See, that's why that's why you are one of the best, if not the best. You see,
I
the cream,
appreciate
the
that.
best is going to rise to the top.
I
So that's
appreciate
why I
that.
come to you.
I appreciate that, and I get that. But you got to understand, when I say you're not tapped in all the way,
hmm
if
Yes.
long are the days where you can have a conversation with a person cut and dry.
Right.
Like we could just be straightforward. A person's going to comprehend what you're saying, just cut and dry. Those days are over. Like you have to finesse certain things to get your point across nowadays. Just talking to like especially some of these young guys, like you can't just have a conversation, a direct conversation with them, cut and dry, and they comprehend it based off it is what it is. Like you gotta really reiterate yourself. You gotta speak in their language. A lot of words that if I told you, you wouldn't know what the heck I'm talking about. For them to really understand, and it's not gonna be the first conversation. You're gonna have to have this conversation repeatedly.
Yeah.
So your idea of 50,000, 40,000 invested. All right, now you got 10,000. Now get to work. Get to work. That's cool. But even your idea, like even in different industries, like competition is a lot more fierce now. Back when you probably started your cell phone business, back then everybody wasn't chasing entrepreneurship. If you were in a position where you can open up a beeper shop, you were the few. Now entrepreneurship is the many. Why? Because people have resources now. Free bands. You know what free bands is?
No.
Exactly. See, free bands existed back then, but even that was limited to a small minute of people who could do white collar crime, because white collar crime was way more difficult to do than it is now. Technology has made it easier so people can source capital and then a week later they're in business. So that creates more competition.
Right.
Everybody couldn't start
Very
no beeper shop. Everybody couldn't start no beeper shop in '94. You had to go rent. You had to have the capital to go rent a brick and mortar, right? You had to have the money to do the build out, right? You had to have the money to do the build out, which included your showcases and getting your lights cut on, your gas, setting up the accounts with the service provider for the minutes. You had to have the money to invest in those. I ain't gonna get into how I know all this, but just know I might have dibbled and that. You have to buy those minutes wholesale.
Sound like you got some experience there. You got a good business.
It's a lot of things Big Mark dibbled and dabbled, and I ain't talked about it yet. But you had to buy those minutes.
Back then I couldn't buy 100 numbers. See, I couldn't buy 100 numbers and get a tray of beepers for free, like some of my associates back then did. See, I sat down and I learned how. I couldn't buy the equipment back then to tune a beeper, so I had to do it with a scanner and a speaker and learn how to raise the low volume, like the low level noise up till I hear a stereo come in. Oh yeah, I recrystallized and tuned a lot of beepers, baby.
So what I'm saying back then is not everybody was inclined to be an entrepreneur, and and that's because it was difficult. See, it's not difficult. Hold on. But this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Because what we're doing now with you, what I'm doing, because I understand your generation. And I also understand my generation. And I kind of understand the younger generation. So what I'm trying to do with right now is kind of close the gap so you can understand what I'm saying. Entrepreneurship was not heavily promoted back then because it couldn't be instant reality the next day. It was only for the few who had the resources to do it. Now a person can come up with the resources overnight if they know the right people, and they're willing to take the right risk that may land them in jail. But it's things have changed. Technology has made it easy for people to become wealthy legally, but it also has made it easy for people to come up with resources to become wealthy illegally as well. And a lot of that money, people try to invest it into things that can bring legal streams of revenue. They try to clean that dirty money with real money.
Right, of course. See, this is part of why I want to teach in the agriculture community, at least, you know what I mean? What I'm doing is how to get these monies. You see, on paper, this is paper. All you gotta do is you got an application if you have experience, if you got contracts from last year, last 2 years, you have a 1 page application if you're gonna do projections. If you're doing projections, if you never did ag, you fill out the FSA 1141 and you project next year. There is 1 page, a 1 page application. You can apply for up to $125,000 right here, due January the 8th. Okay, and they're going to start distributing immediately before Biden get out of office. They want to spend $2 billion. Get in line and get your money so that you can. Now, if you come up and get this right here, this 125,000 off this paper, then you can go make some more paper.
I get all that, Mister.
That's a tip now. That's a tip now. For them that's trying, hey, that's just a tip.
I get you. But we see. I can have this conversation with you all. I told people I listen to everybody. I get in.
Yes, sir.
Influence from everybody. But I it ain't as easy, Mr. Jones. It ain't as easy as you think.
Nothing worthwhile is easy. We get that. I myself am out here this morning. I got up. I said the other day, I'm gonna run a couple of these loads. I got up this morning, sniffles and everything. We just got back from a farm conference. My wife came back with a little bug, and I got up and ran 2 loads this morning myself. I'm willing to go a little while longer.
But see, Mr. Jones, you proving my point. You proved my point from 20 minutes ago. This is just a hobby for you, Mr. Jones. This is just a hobby for you. You picked up a box from Ferguson and drove it 20 miles and then picked up another item and drove it 7 miles. Okay. And you back home. It's a hobby. You went and spent hold on with a cup of coffee or tea. How much you spend on the van, Mr. Jones?
Actually, I got the bid at 12. We ended up spending 13,315. After the fees and stuff.
All right, fine. So after that, all invested, you get the van. You comfortable. You went and made $21 and let me get out here and see what these young whippersnappers is. You went and picked up a box and drove 20 miles and you back home. The typical person who goes and invests that type of money, $55. Now, the typical person who's watching the channel who makes that type of investment, guess where they would be right now? They wouldn't be at home. They'd still be out. They would have been out since the break of dawn to the end of the night. So this goes back to where I'm talking about as far as you and your mindset as far as comfortability. You're see what I'm saying? So when I asked you that question to, see how you would coach your grandson, you answered it from a level of comfortability. I wanted you to put your mind in the frame of the grandson. And also, if it fail and I advise him, I'm going to have to support him. You know what I'm saying? You comfortable, you sitting drinking coffee. A person that goes spend that type of money on a van that's on the new, and that's, pretty much all they got, or a big portion of all they got, they still out looking for work. You went and picked up 2 little boxes and made $50 and you drove home. You said, all right, that's enough for the day. You had your fun.
Stopped at the grocery store. I had to stop at the grocery store for my wife. I had to pick up a prescription and come on back to the house or get dog.
You just want to do something. Mr. Jones, you just want to do something. Let's be honest now. That's why I want you to think of it from the different side of the equation. I want you to think of it in the mind frame of the investor. Let's try this one more time, Mr. Jones. Can we try this one more time?
Okay.
One more time. I'm going to go with your number, $50K. You said it's going to take about $40K to get up and going, right?
Right.
All right. So this leaves your grandson with $10,000.
$10,000.
He has a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And and the child's mother that lives with them that does not work.
No work.
So there's
No
no
work.
revenue, no income coming in. His income is the only income, right?
Right.
And that's $6,000 a month. He makes $1,500 a week. $6,000 a month. He had $50,000 that he got on a settlement. He got hit by a car. He sued the insurance person. They gave him a 50 piece. So that's where he got the 50. Now, all he got is 10,000. Granddad, I'm finna quit my job. I'm finna start this box truck business. Granddad, what you think? You think it's a good idea? Nah. I got 50,000. It's gonna cost about 40,000 to get going. I'm gonna have 10,000 left. Granddad, you think I should do it or nah? And if you
what about $6,000?
Go ahead.
What about $6,000 in expenses? He got $10,000. Okay, that means he'll have about $4,000 for miscellaneous, in case things happen. Now, hopefully, if he listened to me and I've been able to do this research, hopefully I've shown him in advance certain things such as the factoring. I want to see him go out there. I want to see him go out there and bring in a half a month about $10,000. Getting started.
Okay, let's say the first
in a half a month.
Let's say the first 2 weeks he bring home 10 grand gross.
Yeah. And build from there and go up from there.
Hold on. And that's highly unlikely. That's highly unlikely for a new carrier. But
now, do we have his authority?
Yeah.
He got his authority. He got everything lined up. He's ready to go to work, right?
He spent 40 to get lined up. He's lined
That's
up.
Okay.
He got the truck. He got everything.
Takes he got 40. That's okay.
I get. But listen to the scenario. Listen to the scenario. 40,000. He got 10,000. Mr. Jones, listen. He got 50. He makes 6,000 a month net. He has 50,000 due to a settlement. He's done all his research. It's going 40,000 to get in. He got a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and 1-year-old, and his child's mother is at home. She doesn't work. He is the sole provider. So if he jumps in, all he has is 10,000. Now that 10,000 has to sustain the business, and it also has to sustain the cost of living for that household. There's no WIC or there's no EBT. There's no government assistance. His job, he was full-time. His benefits are what took care of the kids. So the healthcare, the dental, the medical, life, all that stuff, his job provided. He's walking away from all that. His baby mama, she's not on any government assistance. He's paying rent.
Okay.
He's paying for groceries. He's paying utilities, everything. In that scenario, talk to me. What would you tell him? Would you say go do it? Would you say don't do it? If you told him to do it, how would you go about it? If you told him don't do it, what would be your reasons for him not to do it? I just want, because you a boomer. No, you an X. What year were you born?
If you set up 66.
So you an X. You X.
66. So now, if everything is set up with $40,000 and he got 10 left over, and he's been able to maintain his expenses on $6,000, that tells me that he got $4,000 remaining, okay, for the month. That within that month, okay, he should be picked up some loads. Now you got your authority done season, and you own with Amazon, or you got some hookups on some load boards and stuff. So you should start having some income coming in 2 or 3 days. They don't take that long to pay you, right? When you factor it, they don't take that long to pay out. So you should have some income coming in. So that $4,000 is being added to continuously for the following month. Now, of course, he got to buy fuel and he got to do all this other stuff, in the process, But I don't think that he would necessarily be set up for a failure there. I don't see him necessarily being set up for a failure.
I hear you, Mr. Jones. I'm
Yeah. And he right. Granddad is going to see. And in my case, it may not be right because Granddad is going to support him.
It's not the fact that it may not be right. I think your idea of what this industry is,
Mm-hmm.
from the inception, I think it's a little flawed. I think it's a little
And how
flawed.
so? Give me a few minutes to tell me how so.
I mean, I got
Please,
some
please,
time. I don't
brother.
know. Because I'm
I
in
can
the
sit
house.
back. I'm at home for the day. I'm at home for the day.
Hey,
I got time.
hey, Mister, me too. Me too.
Yeah, I'm at home for the day.
But
Yeah, I know.
I gotta get to the gym though. I gotta get to the gym. But
Mhm,
and
mhm,
I still
mhm.
got time. I still got a couple hours before I get to the gym. I like to get there
Okay,
before.
so where is that flaw? To tell me, where would that fail
I think
necessarily? Is that an inherent failure?
I think
Or if things go terribly wrong, it could fail.
first let me tell you this. I like talking to you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, sir. I love listening to you.
You know, I never, and this is the crazy thing. You were born in 66. Generation X is 65 through 1980. So you were born the second
Okay.
year Generation X. I was born the last year Generation X. I was born in 1980. I'm sorry. So we are in the same generation. So
Okay.
now I think you think that once you get a truck and,
Mhm.
and you start, because you said 2 to 3 days, he should be making some money. And
Yeah.
in
Hold on one second. Let me take this off.
in a perfect world, yes. And in some people's situations, yes. But in majority people's situations,
Yeah.
in this industry, no. You have people in here that are in this chat right now that are successful. They have portfolio well into the six figures, and they surpass and beat the learning curve. And they'll tell you that their first month or their first week was hectic in hell, and they operated
Right.
at a loss. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We talking about 10 grand, 3 babies, and a baby mama that don't work. And you're a business
with an
person.
income of $6,000. With an income.
But that income is no longer. We walked away from that income, Granddad. We walked away from that
But
income.
you got $10,000 sitting up. But you got $10,000 sitting over here.
It ain't sitting. You know why? Because I had to dip into that 10,000 to get to this first load and get this first load done. I also had to go into this side. Hold on. I had to go into this TA. I had to go into this Loves. I had to go into this Pilot. I ain't got no points. I got to pay for a shower. I got to eat. So even if I'm cooking on my truck and I'm eating salami and bread, I got to go into Walmart and buy a loaf of bread. I got to buy some salami, some bologna. Or I'm running into McDonald's or Arby's or all these unhealthy facilities that are at these truck stops. This is all accounting. It's all costing money. I could be starting in the wintertime and I could be coming through Chicago where it's 2 degrees outside with a negative 50 degrees wind chill factor. I can't sleep in the truck. I got to get a hotel. I'm up here because the loads are paying, but I have to take some of that money because it's just not safe and healthy to sleep in a truck with a negative 30 degree wind chill factor outside. I got to get a hotel. So that 10,000, we're immediately going into that. What you thinking about, Mr. Jones?
That's a rough way to start, man. Golly.
What you mean that's a rough way to start? That's the name of the game.
That's a rough way, man. That's a rough way, man.
No, Mr. Jones. It's not a rough way.
And I do understand.
That's what it is.
And I understand people sleep in their trucks and stuff. I do understand that.
That's what most people do. That's what most people do. Majority of people that's running box truck, they sleep in their truck.
That's not a good way of doing it.
Well, how should they do it, Mr. Jones?
If you got to sleep in your truck, just work out and in, out and back. Link up and work out and back. I mean, I wouldn't have you out there.
Wait. Hold on. I don't understand what you just said. You
In
said link
today's,
up and
okay, I'm
work,
in Memphis,
work,
Tennessee.
work
My
out and
home is
back.
in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, my home is Memphis, Tennessee. This is the transportation capital of the world. It's cheap freight. It seems like it's cheap freight. I understand, but we sit on top of so many of these, uh, and everybody is now, but we sit on so many opportunities uh, to move for all these different Amazon. Amazon is just a big thing. Amazon is just a big thing. If you're getting started and you don't have some dedicated routes that you know and understand, seem like to me what I've been watching, okay, and the few looks on the load board on Amazon from right here in Memphis, Tennessee, at any night, one of these brothers could pull up their account and grab them a load off of this Amazon site, and they could run out here to Little Rock, Arkansas. They could run down to Tupelo. They may be stopping at 3 or 4 different, maybe 5 post offices or something. They dropping off freight. And and I'm seeing these loads myself. I'm seeing them myself, 600, 750, a day, a night, a load,
Mr. Jones,
you know,
we talking
and
about
they
a
coming on
new
back home.
person. We talking about a new individual, brand spanking new, Mr. Jones. What are you talking about?
So do they have the authority? Did they get the authority set up and everything? Or did they just run out and buy a box truck? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You can't just run out and buy a
yes.
box truck and expect you to be successful, and you have no
Mr.
education behind it. You have no
Mr. Jones,
information behind it. Get
we
knowledgeable
covered
first.
we covered this already. They have everything. They have
Okay,
their deal.
so
They got everything.
why
They
they
can.
not?
Why they what?
So what's the problem?
What you mean? What's the problem?
Where's the problem? Go to work. Get up and go to work. What's the problem? You can run 2 loads a day. You run during the daytime, run one at night. Put somebody else in that night and make money while you sleeping. Get you some rest. You run one and have another driver run another. What's the problem?
Doing what?
In
All right,
fact,
tell me
it's
what we doing?
Amazon.
That we can't do Amazon. We can't do Amazon with a new authority, Mr. Jones. We covered this already.
Well now see if you got your authority is already seasoned for 6 months. My God, I would not tell you to get out there because it takes 6 months to a year, to get on with some of these brokers and stuff like that. No, I'm not
So
talking about day one. Go out there and you get started and you go get you no.
so
I'm not
what you
talking about
saying?
that. I'm thinking
So you saying they should get the box truck, get the authority, get everything set up, and just pay the bills for it for 6 months, and don't run the box truck, and just let the authority age while they consume the cost of.
now. Stay with me now. Stay with me. I even said that you can get your authority in an SUV. You can get your authority in a small van while you getting some education and getting some experience under your belt. So you can get your authority without having a box truck. Tractor trailer. That's not required to get your authority.
So
get your
Mr. Jones.
Know where you're going. Where is your base money? Know where your base money is. One money understood where you can get at least enough for you to base out. Hey, if you were making 6,000, you need to do something else. So you want to make 10,000, you need to clear $10,000 a month. Know where you're gonna get your base money. What are the requirements to do that? What are the requirements? Meet the minimum. Nobody ever, DirecTV, Dish Network, Wild Blue, did not tell me no when I met the basic requirements. You can't meet the basic requirements. So start small. You said that. Start small. Now, just because you run a DoorDash, just because you run an Uber, just because you run something else, does not mean that you cannot go on and get your authority. Get an authority started. So that when 6 months time come around and you got your money together, then you can go out there and get you a truck and you'll be in much better position.
All right. Let's look at it from your perspective. The authority is age 6 months. We still got the same 50, same scenario, same work scenario. We got the 50, we spend the 40, we got 10. Our authority is aged. Now what?
Now you got a base pay. You got a base pay that you can make, that you can clear you
What?
$10,000 a month.
What's the base pay when you running OTR and you bidding on load boards? What do you mean?
Well, what I mean when I'm saying base pay is, we went on that they had $6,000 a month in income total.
Mm-hmm.
That had to cover all of your expenses at the time: your rent, your house, your groceries, your children, your wife who doesn't work. You got
Mm-hmm.
that 5, 2, and 1. You had to buy
Yes.
pampers and milk and take care. You had to do everything out of $6,000.
Which
Well,
hold on.
now
Which
if I
which
said,
which which
yes, sir,
is not a lot of money for a person in that situation. Because
I agree,
5, 2,
I
and
agree,
1, that's a
I
lot of
agree.
Pampers. That's a lot of stuff.
Yes, sir, yes,
All
sir,
right.
yes, sir. But
All right. So
let's just roughly say you making $600 a day, okay, and you doing that, and you doing that, and you doing that 20 days a month, okay, and you doing that 20 days a month. That's a deep. You can come on up right there. You see, that's $12,000. No, I'm sorry. You make it a decent chunk of change. Let me get that exactly right. I should. I'm sorry. I'm talking to you, and I can't factor real fast in my head. Just I like that 20 days. So you made more than your $6,000 income that you had. Plus, you got your insurance and you got your other, a few other expenses, like to cover. So you still made more than what you was making on the job. I mean, insurance, everything. You look like you cleared $7,000 to $8,000. You did better than you was on the job. You may not have had as much time at home, or be gone for 7 or 8 hours, 6 or 7 or 8 hours a day, but you still brought in better for your family. That's just one load. Put somebody else in it, pay them well, and then you got the remainder of that minus the additional maintenance that you would have, and you're making money while you spend some time with that 1, 2, and 5, and the wife who won't get up and do nothing, or if that's the way y'all work it out, that's perfectly fine too. You know, put somebody else in it when you're not in it. Let somebody else run one, and pay them. See, you making money when somebody else is working for you. Now you don't work for money. When somebody else is working for you, you're making money. So let somebody else go make you some money while you take one route and you go make it all. So you can really do much better than that. But you got to be motivated. You can't be sitting around. You cannot not know this computer thing. You must know something about this computer thing so you could keep up on it, so you can learn what you got to do. You see, this is that's viable. But I do understand that a lot of our younger generation don't know how to think. Just don't know how to think. Why?
hmm.
So it's like I said, it's not my intent to drive. No, I don't want to do this for nothing. This is not something I desire to do. I got too many other things I'm doing. I'm trying, this is not what I don't plan on doing. I'm gonna get out here and work it some so I can, you know, see what it's about. That's really, I mean, that's the truth.
Okay. I
You know,
I think you I think you kind of hear me, but I don't think you. I think you are based on the scenario I gave. Like your answer is not wrong in my eyes, but based on the scenario I gave, I think in your head, I think you think it's cut and dry, and it's not.
not necessarily. Not necessarily. No, it's not cut and dry. Because anything could happen. You have to. You must
All right,
have. Uh,
and that's where I don't understand where I'm the
mhm.
disconnect is, because
Mhm.
anything can happen.
Yeah.
So what do you
Yes.
think? And this is where I was expecting you to say. I was expecting you to say anything can happen, and I
Mhm.
think a person should have this 10,000. If something happens
Mhm.
at home and all they got is 10,000, then what?
Give me the possible what you thinking about could happen at home. You've been
I mean,
working all this time. Ain't nothing happened at home yet. You renting.
hey,
You're renting. So
hey,
if
Mr.
the
Jones,
roof leaks,
Mr.
you
Jones,
call
Mr. Jones,
somebody.
Mr.
Yes,
Jones.
sir.
You got enough life experiences that we can think of some very bad situations in our life that has happened that were unexpected, that we
Right.
may or may not have had the capital, depending on at what point in our life when this
Exactly.
situation happened. Every like
Mhm. Mhm.
stuff happens, Mr. Jones, and it's just like I was
Great. Yes,
raised.
sir.
It's
Mhm.
you hope for the best, but you prepare for the
Mhm.
worst.
Exactly. So that's why I
So
talk about the
so
coverages, the warranties, and all that type of things. That's why I talk about all that. You got to have the right.
I get what you're saying, but some things don't
Mhm.
have a warranty. Some
I
things
want to
don't
know more about.
have.
I want to follow you. Give me some example. Give me at least one example that's going to be so that
Mr. Jones, Mr.
we're not
Jones.
prepared.
All right, let me ask you this:
Yes, sir.
You got three kids.
Hmm.
How much money do you think a person with three children? Let me ask it in a simpler way. How much
Okay.
money do you think a person who has three kids in that age range and a wife that doesn't work, how much money do you think they need to have saved up for living expenses? You know, just in case, cost of living.
Oh,
Hold on, just in case, cost of living. How much the security do you think, financial security, do you think a person in that situation should have before they take a risk and starting a business? Let me ask it to you in that
now
way.
that's a different story. Now that's a
No,
different way of
no,
putting it.
no, no.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the
Okay.
same story. It's the same
Okay.
story.
How much should you have? How much of a nest egg should you have put up to kind of cushion you a little bit for that uh, unexpected? I
Hmm.
say a person should have at least about 3 to 6 months that they can survive. 3 to 6 months that they can survive on,
That's it. For the business
at least,
or for their cost of living.
for your cost of living. For your cost of living, okay, you should have at least 3 to 6 months that you
All
can
right.
survive on.
All right.
Now,
So
am I giving you an optimum? Am I giving you an optimum? I'll say, hey, you can't have enough, but but minimal, but minimal. If some to support yourself and your family, you need at least 3 to 6 months. See, in 3 to 6 months, if some go haywire, right, and it went haywire, you 30 days, you should start being able to see and map out yourself a different way of doing things. What's going to make that go over. You should be able to map out and navigate to a different way of doing things in months 2, 3, 4. So now you
all right.
got that nest egg saved up that can support you. Now, in business, in business, you once again, what failed is that bit. Don't hold on to something. Don't hold on to something that's dying. Now, if it's
Well,
dead and you ain't doing no way to bring it back up to revitalize it, put some marketing, some advertising in it, if you're doing everything that you need to be doing to boost your business along, if you're doing that and you still can't get a grip, maybe it's time for you to think about liquidating some things and trying and looking at something new. See, back in the day, let's go back to beepers. Back in the day when flex beepers came along, you obviously remember that. I was slow to make the change. You see, I was slow when the other brothers was making the change and they went on, bought all the new programmers and got with the program. I was slow to make the change back then. You see, but if for some reason your business is dying and you can't keep on, you know, then hey, go on and look for another thing. You got a business mind on you. I mean, the game is the same: buy low, sell high. You know, now today y'all got crypto and y'all got some of everything y'all could invest in. So hey, why not? If you got that kind, you can sell a truck and buy a piece of real estate, and at least get you down here. $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month. And rent coming in. Don't let it die out on you to where you have nothing. Be flexible. Be ready to make the change if it dictates that. But if this the lane that you want to be in, right? Figure out why you're not doing so well. Why are you not doing? Get on here and learn from some of the masters like yourself, some of the others. Get on here and learn. Partner up with
I'm,
some of the others that have
I'm not.
opportunities.
I'm not a master. I'm just talking from speaking from experience. But
A PhD ain't got none. A PhD ain't got none but classroom time until they get out here and get some experience. And you got
here's what
experience and the classroom. Call yourself a
I,
doctor. I
but
do. Call yourself a doctor.
here,
I do.
no, you can't call yourself a doctor and you ain't got a PhD.
Yes, you can.
No, you
You can
can't.
do what you want to.
That's cap.
You can do what you want to.
That's cap. That's cap, Mr.
You
Jones.
bring in the knowledge, brother. You bring in the knowledge and the expertise with it. Come on with it now.
But I'm not going to disrespect somebody that spent a lot of money or put themselves in debt to get those 3 letters on the back of their name and just walk around. It'd be different if I was a rapper and I called myself Dr. Mark, like Dr. Dre or some stuff like that. But
Okay,
I don't
Dr.
have a. I
Mark.
don't.
We're gonna call you.
I don't. No. I don't. Look at.
Well, I got a friend just retired. I got a friend, PhD, just retired. Same doggone thing. Y'all did the same thing.
Hey, hold on. What's old girl name that I got straight earlier this year, last year, that just called me weird? She changed her name. She think I don't know who it is. What's her name that was running the cargo van and it took us 6 hours to load 100 pieces? I know you in the chat, so I'm sitting up here. Don't worry about. I'm gonna drop the link so you can come on. We can see how your cargo van business is doing. Yeah, because I'm sitting up here listening to you. But you got people upset because I had to hold them accountable earlier this year. So she want to come into my chat, and the only thing I'm doing is sitting up here listening to you, talking crazy to me. But we want to know how your car.
Read it right now.
Hold on, we want to. What was her name? Damn, what was that girl name? From Philly. What was her name? Damn, what was her name? This girl. What was her name? God damn, I gotta go back. But I know it's you. Don't ask me how I know either. Just know that I know. So, but anyway, Natasha. Yeah, Natasha, that's you. I know it's you. Yeah, I know everything. Certain people that say certain things, I don't say nothing. I just let them keep cooking. But I got some shit back here. I got some shit. So you could switch accounts and all that stuff you want. Let me know how your cargo van business doing. You getting them 100 packages loaded in a more timely fashion? All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
You can't.
No,
you gotta. Sometimes you gotta. Yeah, I'm sitting up here listening to you, and this girl come in here messing with me, Mr. Jones. Now come in here messing with me. You know what I'm saying? But I had to
my granddad.
I had to let
my
her
granddaddy.
Yeah, she quiet
back
now.
in the day, my grandfather used to tell us a story about how he always came up $5 short on the back in his time, right, when he was sharecropping, and the white dude would always say he was $5 short, right? But Dad had said that, hey, that last year was his last time he was gonna be $5 short. So that's when he moved to Memphis. When he moved to Memphis, he went back out to Millington to the Navy base and took a job. The man told him that he didn't have a job for him, but Daddy said Daddy went to work. And Daddy said when payday came, the man paid him. So he went to work every day as though the man had given him a job. So my thing is,
go
get up and go to work. Let's go get it. Let's go get it.
Yeah. Hey, one second. Hey, Natasha. I know. Don't get scared now. Like, damn, how he know? Listen, I know when your content creators come in here under funny, freaky names saying something. I know who they are. I know it all. I see it all. I got some shit back here that Charlie. So don't get scared now. Come on out. You thought you was gonna hide behind another name? Yeah. See, I'm gonna call you out because you upset because I held you accountable. I held you accountable when you tried to place the blame on everybody but yourself. Hey, Mr. Jones, this content creation ain't for the faint of heart. You got to really be a strong individual. Just, because people, they try to play with you. They try to play with you. You dig what I'm saying? Sometimes you just let it go, but sometimes you got to pull up. Sometimes you got to pull up, and it's all in good, because it's not to hurt nobody. It's nothing personal. It's all based on results. It's all based on
There you
results.
go. That's right.
And that's like, it's a guy right here looking, he done flip flopped. You dig what I'm saying? But I know who he is too. I see you, Caduce. Yeah, Caduce done went and switched up and then made a funny page too and just wrote something. Caduce, I see you too. Yes, sir. I know everybody. You can make as many funny pages as you want. You see how that silence, she done got spooked, done damn near shitted on herself. She ain't got nothing to say no more. She like, damn, how you know? I'm trying to tell you, stop playing with me. And Caduce too, I see you in that too. You just put under the PE, S2G. Yeah. Did y'all forget last year when the guy called up and he damn near shitted on himself? Oh, damn, I'm sorry, Mr. Joe. I forgot you was on screen. I apologize for saying that bad word.
Oh man, I'm enjoying. I'm looking at. I got it on TV. I'm
Yeah,
watching it now.
I see you. You get some pleasure out of this, don't you, Mr. Jones? This is all right to you, ain't it, Mr. Jones? This is all right.
It is.
This is
yeah. I love learning. I love learning. I love listening to you all. I love this medium that you all have perfected, where you could share, where somebody could sit here and share their experiences and everything with a crowd like you do. This is just, and then other people, so many people, you're touching so many people's lives. You're touching so many people's lives. You're motivating these young men to get up and go get it, man. And I love what you all do in this. And y'all have y'all back and forths, and then y'all come back and y'all clear up things. And then once we get everything cleared up, then hey, we right back on the game plan. Man, I love it, man. I do. I'm learning a lot, and I hope everybody else is. It's about us sharing knowledge and information that's going to that's going to raise everybody up. Everybody's going to come up based on this. Somebody, tripped because they did. I sent a little $20 chat thing to you. I had to go put a card in there to do that. I never knew how to do that. I never did it before. But listening to you, I thought it was so important just to participate. I wanted to learn how to do it. So that was my first time ever doing it. And somebody said that, made a statement or something, and as though it wasn't enough. Well, if 92 people that's on this chat tipped in this brother for for his information, for this doctoral degree that he has, given that, and he's so freely giving us,
well, I don't have
then he'll
Mr.
be
Jones.
all right.
Mr. Jones, who got a doctoral degree? I ain't got one.
Shit. You better excuse me. I'm sorry. If I ain't supposed to say it on YouTube or something. Hey,
Look,
listen.
you can curse. You can curse. I'm just not gonna curse.
Can't nobody tell. Listen. Don't let nobody tell you who you ain't, who you are not. You are everything that you say you are. Who came up with that nonsense anyway? You see.
What nonsense? What you talking about, Mr. Jones?
Like Mr.
all
Jones, that.
Mr.
Don't let nobody identify who you are.
Mr. Jones, you looking for some smoke, Mr. Jones? You want some smoke? You don't, Mr. Jones.
What you mean?
Leave the
what
smoke
you mean
alone.
Some smoke, man?
No, not that type. Not that type of smoke, Mr. Jones. Not that type of smoke. No, not that type of smoke, Mr. Jones.
Now let me tell you something. Hey, let me tell you something. I'm not against nothing. I'm not against nothing nobody do. Only thing I'm against is that if you do something that you something too hard for you. So hey,
Hey,
if that's the thing, do it.
I just come to put on a good show. Little lot of education, a little entertainment, It's just this entertainment right here. Did she come back yet? She's trying to figure out. She done shut the computer down. God damn. Cut it back on, Natasha. Cut it back on, man. Yeah. Cut it back on. It's too late. We got you. Cut it back on. This she done left. She done left, Mr. Jones. You see this? Ain't this a God dang it. She done left.
Hey,
Done came here trying to mess with Mark under a funny dunny. And Big Mark.
Mr. Colby.
Man.
Mr. Colby, yes, sir.
Who is Mr. Colby? We can't say that word. We can't say
that
word.
I can't say the Colby? Oh, okay, that was his name up there. I'm sorry.
Oh, Mr. Colby. Mr. Colby. I thought you
sir.
said the other C word with the V.
Oh.
Yeah, ain't.
Oh, I don't even. Oh no, I don't even deal with that. He said, "Hey, the Memphis came out of Mr. Jones." All right, Mr. Colby. This is nice.
You like this? Maybe you should set you up a channel. You want to do a show?
Well,
we could do it. We could do a show. Me. It'll be called Me and Mr. Jones. Look how I just came up with that title. See, this where I'm good, Mr. Jones. This where I'm good. Mr. Jones, this content stuff, I'm just good at it, Mr. Jones. See how I came up with that title on the fly? Me and Mr. Jones. I'm just good, man.
Can't nobody do that. See, can't nobody do that but doctors. Can't nobody do that but masters in their field.
No. I ain't no doctor.
But masters in their craft.
I'm just witty, man. I'm clever, man. That's it. I can come up with stuff on the drop of a dime. I listen.
But
listen. I went to public schools. Listen, from day one kindergarten, like you had to learn how to talk about people. You weren't gonna make it. You had to be off the drop, man. The mama jokes wore out real quick. You got to know how to look at a person and go in on them.
Yeah.
I've been doing it 40 years, so I'm just quick with it.
I'm
quick with it. I'm on the dime with it. You can't, because as soon as you walk in the door, like it's on all day. We got 8 hours. When we go to lunch, my freshman year, I had 5th period lunch. Man, that's an hour. We sitting in there for 55 minutes. It's a roasting session. It's a roasting session. All right? So it's just got to be
my uncle, I give you my background in coming through Chicago all the time. My uncle, Dr. Nokomis Johnson.
Is he a real doctor or you just call him doctor too?
No, he's Dr. Nokomis Johnson. He retired many. Well, he's dead now. That's my grandmother's brother. In Cook County school system up there. And then my wife, uncle, he's over there 63rd and Damien. And that's where we normally hang out at when we come up to Chicago over that way.
63rd and Damien.
Yeah. But now my uncle Nokomis, he way back in the day, I can tell you something. He used to live over there on State Street, up in one of them high rises over there on State Street. So I used to park over there. I used to park a big rig. See, now I'm going to tell you something else. Golly, I used to park over there at the paper company, right over there in that area. You had a newspaper company over there in that area. Yeah, and we used to ride up there, and when we got up there, we had to walk across the street over there to Uncle Nokoma's house, to his apartment over there in that high rise. So I used to ride in a truck with someone, used to, make drops up there back in the day every now and then.
Just keep talking. I'm looking, but I'm scanning the room. I'm scanning. Just keep talking. I'm scanning.
Yes, sir.
I just got to.
Yes, sir.
Playing with me. Did she come back in the room? Yeah, or she didn't. She ain't came back. Scared. Listen, I scared the mess out of her. That's why I'm saying some of these trolls, they just need to leave certain people alone. Leave me alone.
So have you thought about dispatching, Mark?
No.
Have you considered dispatching? No.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Nah. I like just doing nothing for the most part.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. How long you been
I'm
doing
like
this channel?
about a little over 2.5 years. I enjoy it.
Okay.
I enjoy it.
Hmm.
I get
Yeah.
my satisfaction comes from helping people. You know, it's kind
Yeah.
of like a form. It's kind of
Hmm.
like a form of philanthropy. In a sense. Uh, but then
Yeah, you giving
again,
back.
but then again, it's like a hobby as well. You know,
Hmm.
so keeps me occupied, and it gives me a chance to I can, because you got to do things to keep your mind occupied and sharp. So public speaking, it keeps your mind sharp. It exercises your brain, right? Because you have to
Right.
articulate yourself, and it helps me keep my mind from being idle, because I have to, no one wants to get up here and look crazy. So that's why I just kind of stick to what I know, and I don't kind of venture off into things I don't know.
Hmm.
So I use it as a form of philanthropy, a hobby, and to, just keep my brain working, exercising. Because speaking, I'm
Hmm.
constantly, my brain is constantly thinking of what I'm going to say
Right.
next, and so on and so forth. So it keeps me sharp.
Hmm.
And then every now and again,
Sure.
I'll go out and maybe do like you did, you know, pick up a box or two, film it, and then upload it.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
haven't done it in like 2 weeks, but if I get the desire to do that, I'll go out and I'll do that, film it, upload it, get some infield content. But yeah, no,
Right.
dispatch, no,
Right.
dispatching nothing, dispatching, no. Mm-mm. No.
Have you and some of the other brothers hooked up? And do you all, for some of you content creators in this lane, do you
Yeah.
all get
I
together and
met
chop it up?
I met Big Vic when he came to the city last year. Was it early? It was last year. He DM'd me. I took him out to
Mhm.
dinner.
Oh, great, great. Yeah,
Kurt came here a couple times. I showed Kirk the time of his life. He was smiling from ear to
yeah,
he was smiling like the Joker. He was smiling like the
yeah.
Joker when he left. Yeah, he was smiling from ear to ear. Yeah, I showed him a good time. I've met some
You see,
subscribers. They rode through the city. I take them out to dinner. That's my thing. When you come through, I'll take you out, show you a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Big Vic got that brand new electric Cadillac he riding around in. He came through Memphis, and I missed him. I was gone. I was off on another farm, agriculture trip, and he came through. I wanted, I yo, if it was possible, I would like to have met him. He bought that brand new Cadillac car through here with that all electric, and he was talking about it. So came over. I think he said to sign another contract with Amazon. So I like to see y'all doing very well like that. That's good. And then sharing
Mm-hmm.
your knowledge so that others can benefit from it. That's the same thing I do in agriculture, man. Same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's great.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What else you got to talk about, Mr. Jones? I got a little bit.
I'm
I
just
got.
gonna sit back and watch, man. I'm just gonna sit back and watch and gather as much information as I can. You know, uh, uh, you know, talk to the wife. She's been anxious to say something to me. She wanted me to sit down and be still. I want to get a cup of coffee, so I go ahead and see what we're gonna eat for dinner. We'll
Okay.
sit down and eat
All
dinner.
right. Well, man, you gotta come up more often, Mr. Jones.
I'm coming up to Chicago to see you. Exactly. The point
No, no,
would
no,
be to
no,
come to
no,
see
no.
you.
I don't mean come up here.
I'm coming.
I'm
I'm
talking about
coming.
come up.
I'm coming.
I'm talking about come up on the channel. I didn't mean come up
But
here
see,
literally. Come up on the channel.
but
Hit
if
the
I can come up
link.
there and take you to dinner, I might get some more pointers that so I don't
I
make as many mistakes. I believe
I
in paying. You know, I, I believe in sharing in my education.
see. I don't believe in that. When you in my town, it's for me to do the hospitality. It's for me to be hospitable. Now, if I come to your town, then I allow a person to be hospitable when I come to your town. But when you come to the city of wind, you come to the city of wind. I'm not gonna let nobody come to my city and show me a good time in my city. That's just the other way around, Mr. Jones. All right now. All right now. I got some. I got some manners now. I ain't from your old school, but you know I was raised with some morals about myself now. What I look like? What, Mr. Jones? What I look like? What I look like? Let you come to my town and you taking me out to dinner? That's like you flew me in or something. Like you can't fly me in my own city.
Oh no, come on! I heard that before. I heard that one before.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Jones, what you know about flying? What you know about flew in? Now you don't know nothing about. Hold on now. We got no. Because you don't know nothing about none of this other stuff. But you heard about fluid in. You know about some fluid in. How you know about fluid in?
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you right quick. I'll tell you why right quick.
You might want to close the door.
Because one of my associates, one of my associates, he goes by, what did he say that it is? Passport bro. One of my associates called himself a passport bro. He loves down South America, man.
Oh Lord.
He loved going to the Philippines and South America and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of heard that before, that term.
Nah. You heard it, all right. You know about all this. You got a passport.
Yeah,
you got a Mr. Jones, you got a passport?
I do.
Yeah? You been to Colombia recently?
Yeah.
Enough said. All right, I'm gonna get off the phone with you, Mr. Jones. I'm gonna get off the phone with you, Mr. Jones.
Hey, brother, nice chopping it up with you. I appreciate everything you do, and I'm sure your viewers love you just like I do. Keep it up, and I'll be right here, man, as often as I can catch you coming on.
Okay. All right, man. I'm gonna get you off of here before you get in trouble. I'll talk to you another time, Mr. Jones. Bye. Get on off of here.
Yes,
get
sir.
Out of
Peace.
Here, Mr. Jones. Yeah. All right, peace.
All right. I've got it.
Let me hang him up on because Charlie, he finna get himself into trouble. Let me get him up out of here, man. All right, man. That was the show. I'm glad I was able to give you guys a little edutainment for today. Did Natasha ever come back before I get out of here? Or did she ever say something else? Hey, did she ever say something else? Yeah, so let this be a warning. I know who you are. I see a lot of things and I don't say nothing. It's a content creator to be coming in here with freaky names, different freaky names, and I know you watching. I know who you are too. Your secret is safe with me. I know who Mr. Freaky Deek and Mr. Dickum Down. I know who you are. You're a content creator. I ain't gonna say your name. Your secret safe with me, pimp. Just know. Natasha, I know I could do. You're upset. I get it, but just know I know. Like this shit ain't hard. This shit easy. Yeah. Listen. We're going into 2025 on a good slate, guys. Listen. I don't want no smoke with nobody. Just leave me alone. Leave me out of it. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going up and to the right. Just keep me out of it. All right? This is chess. I keep telling you. It's chess. Did Natasha ever come back? She say, Paul Smith said, not a word. Not a word. Not a word was heard. What Paul Smith, what he say? No, he said, hold on. Did I pull it up? I pulled up the wrong one. Hold on. Who said not a word? Hold on. No, Pippi said not a word. Wrong person. Not a word. Yep, not a word. Not a word. Paul Smith said he heard about Diddy. He talking about Mr. Jones. All right. Okay. All right. So, okay. Now we got some things understood because I had to go in here and let the cat out the bag with Natasha. All right. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Until next time, peace.